Greetings, Earthlings. You're listening to the Probing Aliens podcast. I'm your host, Golf, aka Putt Putt, and today we're probing entrepreneurship. When we return. And today we are filming at Cafe Flat, located in Duluth, Georgia. My guest today is none other than a good friend of mine from all the way middle school, actually. Middle school, high school years. Hanson. Hanson, how are we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good today. Just woke up at 1 or 2 o'clock, helped my dad, and came over to
So
this
that's
cafe.
why you pushed it back.
Okay, listen, I normally wake up at around
Dude,
12 or 1, okay?
that's crazy that you put on the form that you were down to meet up at 1 o'clock, but you woke
Okay, listen.
up at 1.
Okay, listen, last night I was gaming, okay? Nothing that I can do right there.
What kind of games were you playing?
So these past couple of weeks, I've been really addicted to this game called Dark and Darker.
Dark and Darker.
Which is basically a mix of Dungeons and Dragon with the gameplay aspects of Tarkov with a class setting.
Yeah, I know Tarkov. It's like an extraction kind of game.
Yeah, it's an extraction game. Same thing for D&D as well. But except for this one, you have different classes. Like you got a wizard class that shoots fireballs and magic missiles. You got a bard that plays music. You got your traditional fighters, and rangers that shoot arrows.
Yeah, I've been
It's really
seeing
fun.
gameplay, and my friends playing Dark and Darker. It looks pretty fun.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, yeah. But what's your favorite class to play?
So I've been playing 99% of my time in that game is the class called Bard. And what you do for that class is in order to cast your buffs and your debuffs, you have to play certain instruments. And so the way that works is think of it like a rhythm game.
Okay.
Whenever you play a music, you have to input the right input of the song in order to get the full effect of the music.
Is it kind of like the hunting horn and Monster Hunter? I don't know if you've ever played Monster Hunter.
I've never played Monster Hunter, but let's just say there's a certain like when you hold down the button,
Yeah.
it has to hit the sweet spot and then goes to the next note.
Oh, it's like one of those like circle spinning things where you have to hit it.
It's like on a line, and
Okay.
then you have to tap it when it reaches the certain point. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And each spell basically or song has a different input,
Right.
and it gets really hectic in a fight
Okay.
because you have to play the input correctly, and if you don't, the song won't come out. And then another aspect of it is you have to play the right instrument too. So certain songs call for a certain instrument that you need to use.
Wait, so there's multiple instruments for
so,
Bard?
Yeah, so the Bard you get four instruments that you need to use. So you got the lute, you got the flute, you got the little guitar, and you got the drums.
Lute, flute, guitar, and drums.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's really skill expressive. So let's say like you need to cast a song that requires the flute. You have to equip it. And if you don't equip it, let's say you accidentally press, the wrong instrument, well, your song is not going to come out because you need the right instrument.
Okay, so and does each instrument like do a different thing?
Yes, each instrument has a certain set of songs that you can play. So, you can in a dungeon, in a run, you can hold up to 10 musics.
Okay.
All right. Each instrument has 5 types of music that are a part of them.
Okay.
So let's say to make it easy for yourself, let's say I want to play 5 songs that are drums and 5 songs that are flutes.
So you can technically only bring 2 instruments at a time, right?
Theoretically speaking, yes.
Okay.
But I'm crazy. I play all 4 of the instruments.
So you bring all 4 of your instruments into a dungeon.
Yeah, you bring all 4 of your...
And you said each instrument can hold up to 5 songs.
No, each instrument has 5 songs that you can play, but you can only hold up to 10 music within a dungeon. So you got to pick from that pool of 20 songs, 10 of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's really fun because when you're in combat, you got to know when to switch to the right instrument, when to switch to your torch, when to switch to your weapon to help fight with your allies and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Right. And so it seems like a really skill expressive class, like you said.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Is that your favorite class to play?
Yeah, I've been playing that class for pretty much 99% of the time. when it comes to games like this, I usually like stick to one character. So back in the day, back in middle school, when I played a lot of Maple Story, I
Uh-huh.
definitely had one account that I played like 99% of the time over the others.
Hmm.
Like do you remember Cygnus Knights from Maple
I
Story?
do remember
I
Cygnus
only
Knights.
I only played Cygnus Knights.
Why Cygnus Knights? Why
No, no,
not
no, no,
Explorers?
no, no. No, that was my secondary. But
Oh,
I
okay.
only played that to buff up my primary character, which
For the
was
link skills, right?
yeah, for the link skill.
Yeah.
That was the only reason, and that was my second. That was my only second character. My
Mm.
main character that I played was it was like a bowman that was like riding on like a jaguar. I forgot the class name.
Oh, Wild Hunter.
Yeah, the wild hunter.
Wild
Yeah, yeah,
Hunter.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, that was a pretty sick
Yeah,
class.
that was
I'm not gonna
literally the
lie.
only reason why I had a
The
second.
resistance upgrade, oh my god. That was probably my like most fun class I've ever played was
The
Battle
resist-
Mage.
Oh, battle mage.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Battle
battle mage
Mage.
class looks so cool too.
Yeah.
But I heard that for the wild hunter, when you get to the fourth job, you can literally have like a ability that shoots infinite arrows.
Yeah.
And what I did was, when I farmed certain dungeons, I would just bind the machine gun arrow attack to like a button. I stuck tape on it,
Mhm.
and I just did something else
Hmm.
while that was happening.
So you're pretty much a gamer, you would say.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, what got you into games?
So what got me into games is way back in the day, around kindergarten. I like the story a lot. So my family is like in the nail business.
Okay.
And during back in the day, both of my parents, my mom and dad, will be at the nail shop because it's their business, so they're
Right.
running a business essentially.
Mhm.
And a lot of times when I come home from school, I had to go to the nail shop with them because no one would be at home to take care of me, right?
Mhm.
One day, one of the customers' kids left their Game Boy Advance. It was a purple one. Yeah, they left it there at our nail shop.
They left it and you just happened to pick it up and
No, I didn't pick it up. My mom was like, "Hey Hanson, do you see
you
this
want a
device?"
fucking Game Boy.
Yeah. Basically, it's like I took it from the lost and found essentially, and it had a Pac-Man collection in it, and
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man collection. Yeah, that was my first game I ever played
Hmm.
was Pac-Man.
You know
on
what's
the Game Boy
crazy, bro?
Advance.
I was one of those kids that always lost their Game Boys too.
Uh-huh.
So like every time I lost the Game Boy, my dad would get mad at me and then he would make me do chores to make up the money that he wasted on that Game Boy to buy a new one.
Oh wow.
So you were lucky enough to find a fucking Game Boy that was lost
Yeah, but
and have it handed to you.
it was like a blessing in disguise because remember back then the purple Game Boy Advance,
Yeah.
it had no lighting.
Yeah.
It had to be run
It
on
wasn't the
batteries.
SP, it was the Advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be run on batteries. It was
Yep.
such a pain in the butt to actually play. So actually back then when I got it, I didn't really play much of it because I always had to constantly get more batteries. and
Well,
I
you could
hated
only play like during the daytime, right? Because there's no like LED backlight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You can't play at night. And
Yeah,
it sucked.
and it was like double A batteries, right?
Yeah, it was two
A's?
double A's.
Yeah.
And it ran out like, I think it had like an 8-hour battery life.
Damn, you were gaming for 8 hours straight, bro.
No, but I'm just saying that it had an 8-hour battery life for two double A's, and it sucked.
That's very much true.
So eventually after that, my parents for my birthday got me a Game Boy Advance SP, which was you know
Mhm.
the
The
one
little
that
flip one.
the flip one.
Yeah,
It
the
was,
square flip one.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
red. It was rechargeable. It was
Okay,
awesome.
okay.
And so I started playing many more games. So I remember playing Mario. What else did I play? I played a bunch of SpongeBob games because I was really into
SpongeBob? They had SpongeBob games for the Game Boys?
Yeah, Lights, Camera, Action, Battle for Bikini Bottom.
I remember Battle for Bikini Bottom,
Yeah.
but I didn't play that on my my Game Boy. I played it on a
PS2, right?
I played it on GameCube, I think, or
GameCube?
Xbox. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the two.
It's definitely not the best version. It's like completely different from the console versions, but I was such a huge fan that I didn't care.
Mhm.
Then after that, I moved on to the DS.
Okay.
And which my first game was Pokemon Diamond.
So you didn't play any of the old school Pokemon games?
I didn't. Yeah, Gen 3, Gen 2, and Gen 1. No, not yet.
Really?
Yeah,
So your
my-
first Pokemon game was on the DS?
Yes, my first Pokemon game was a Gen 4 game, and it was Pokemon
Wow.
Diamond. Yeah, and I played so many hours on that. I remember maxing out the game clock
Yeah.
for Gen 4.
Dude, I think honestly Pokemon White and Black was like the most fun I had in a Pokemon game in a while.
Oh, I'll get to Gen 5, but yeah. So eventually, after playing Pokemon Diamond, I played Platinum, and then the Gen 2 remakes,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually I played Gen 3,
Mm-hmm.
Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. My first game was Pokemon Sapphire, or my Pokemon game.
Oh, really? Gen
Yeah.
3? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got those 2 games when I visit Vietnam, and
Okay.
yeah.
Were they like bootleg versions, or was it just like a Vietnamese
They were
version?
normal versions, but definitely when I was over there when I had the DS, I played those games on the DS because of
Okay.
that port at the
Because
bottom.
usually when you go to like the Asian markets, right? They usually sell like bootleg versions
Yeah, yeah.
of games.
Yeah, they didn't look bootleg. In retrospect, they possibly could have. I
Uh huh.
can't remember.
Uh huh.
So yeah, I got them there as a kid, and they were really cheap. And yeah, I played.
Was it in Vietnamese?
It was not in Vietnamese.
Really? It was in English.
Yeah, it was all in English.
Huh.
Maybe that's why it was so cheap. It was like
Huh.
equivalent to like $5.
Really?
A
That's
chip.
actually really cheap.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that with Pokemon, and then eventually, Gen 5. I didn't play Gen 5 when it came out, but I
Mhm.
played it much later. And looking back on it, yeah, do you think Gen 5 is like the best Pokemon game? Or do you think your nostalgic goggles is
I
Gen
mean,
3?
it's definitely Gen 1. I actually prefer Gen 1
Why do you prefer Gen 1?
because Gen 1 is just so cool. It's
No,
like
you're
it's like the original.
okay. No.
It ties in with the show, like when you watch Pokemon, like you saw Ash
If
trying to
you're
catch all 151 Pokemon.
okay, you're pure on copium right here. There's no way you like Gen 1. If anything,
I like Gen 1.
if anything, you should like Gen 2 over Gen 1.
I like Gen 1, Gen 3, and Gen 5.
I can't believe you don't like Gen 2. How come?
Gen 2 is okay. It's not my favorite.
It's literally you get 2 regions for the price of 1.
No. It's not my favorite.
You get to battle Red.
Okay, I don't care.
What?
It just wasn't my favorite like Pokemon generation. I just didn't like the Pokemon in there.
Is it because of Charizard? Oh, do you really care a lot about the aesthetics of the Pokemon
I do.
when you play a game?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that type of Pokemon player.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
But
makes a lot of sense.
even then, like when I played Sapphire for the first time, right? I remember trying to catch a bunch of fucking Rattatas because I was trying to make a OP Raticate.
An OP
Yeah,
Eradicate.
in OP Raticate, I was trying to get a Zubat. I remember this, and then what was that cloud Pokemon?
Cloud Pokemon from Gen 3?
Yeah, the one that looks like a butt. Cast form.
Oh, dude. You mean
Dude.
Nutsack?
Yeah, honestly, that Pokemon, I don't know why, but I was so like,
You
yo,
liked it?
no, I didn't like it. I thought it looked funny as fuck, so I was trying to catch it, and I tried to take him all the way to the Elite Four.
Oh my.
And went my way through.
Oh my God. Your
Yeah.
team sounds
My
horrendous.
team's not a fucking OP, bro. What do you
What?
mean?
You got a
Yeah.
team of Ratatats?
And then what was that? Electrike, the dog. Electric
Oh, yeah,
Pokemon?
yeah.
yeah.
That one was a cool Pokemon.
Yeah. Dude, my team was stacked.
You had a team of Raticates, Rattatas, and a Castform. Those are
Yes.
really bad Pokemon.
No, but I still beat the game with that team. So
Okay. Have you heard of this cheese where you put a Focus Sash on a Rattata level 1?
no.
And then there's this move called Endeavor.
Uh-huh.
And what Endeavor does is it reduces the enemy Pokemon to your current HP.
Okay.
So do you know what a Focus Sash does? It's an item.
A focus sash, doesn't that make like all of the other the opponent's Pokemon attack your Pokemon?
No. So the item Focus Sash is, let's say like normally your level 1 Pokemon gets one shotted by like a level 100 Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Focus Sash prevents any one shots in the game. Okay, but just for one turn.
One turn only.
Yeah. So what you do is you play a level 1 Rattata
Okay.
with Focus Sash.
Uh-huh.
Since it's level 1, it's gonna be slower than whatever higher level there is.
Yeah.
It doesn't move, and it's
Uh-huh.
left with 1 HP.
Okay.
So the move Endeavor is gonna reduce the enemy's Pokemon to your current HP. So it's gonna go down to 1 HP.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then after that,
Mhm.
you play Quick Attack.
That's actually kind of broken.
I remember doing that to one of my friends back then. It was so cheesy, so
They
funny.
allow that in like Pokemon tournaments? Because you know how you battle other people? Are you allowed to like have items?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
But that strategy is like you can see it a mile away, and it's pretty easy to
I mean, yeah, it's
to
pretty
counter.
telegraphed, right?
It's
If like
telegraphed. You
if
just
you're throwing out a level 1 Rattata, that's like
yeah, you can switch out to a ghost Pokemon because it's a normal type move, or
Mhm.
like just burn it, just throw like or put toxic on it, and you're fine.
so if you throw out the Rattata, right?
Uh huh.
And then they see that you throw out the Rattata, they're like, "Oh, this guy's trying to cheese me, so I'm gonna switch my Pokemon first."
Yeah, pretty much. It's like you can
Ah,
see it. The strategy was developed in 2007,
okay.
and yeah, everybody that plays like competitively, they already know the
Do
strategy.
you know who made it famous?
Yeah, I do actually. Um, it's actually a Pokemon YouTuber. His name is Marilyn. Back in 2007.
The Pokemon, the blue Pokemon Marill, right?
Yeah,
Was that his logo? I feel like I've seen some of
yeah,
his
yeah.
videos. Okay.
Man, I remember like back in '07.
Mhm.
Yeah, I watched this YouTuber. Yeah, his name is Marilyn, and he would do like Let's Plays of like Pokemon series.
Yep, yep, yep.
Oh, do you remember him too?
I remember a lot of things.
Cause like, have you watched the videos of when he like did like a what's it called the game hack where he
I
got
don't remember. I
oh
remember a
exactly
lot of things, but I don't remember if I watched that video.
oh,
I
okay.
mostly watched like Let's Plays back then.
Okay,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he did a lot of Let's Plays, especially the Pokemon games in Japanese,
Mhm.
because back then, um, Japan would release their Pokemon games first before
Yeah.
the United States.
Yeah.
So I got to see Platinum before it came into the States. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, same thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, he developed the strategy, and it went viral on YouTube. It got like 20 million views. Yeah, it was
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, have you ever attended like a Pokemon tournament? Like actually?
Like a Pokemon tournament,
Yeah.
I want to, but I've never have. I've only
Mm.
seen like streams of it on like YouTube.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, the only problem with Pokemon tournaments is there's just a lot of things that you got to do to prepare for it. A lot of tedious BS. Have you heard of like IV training
I've heard of Ivy
and
training.
and natures and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a real pain in the butt.
I know people. What they do is with Pokemon, like especially for their starters. Sometimes people will reset their game over and over again because they want their starter with a certain type of nature.
Yeah,
Because that nature helps, like their stats and like all the
yeah,
IV shit.
like
Yeah.
depending on the nature, like for some character, for some Pokemons, it's like, oh, I got sassy nature.
Mhm.
This Pokemon that's known for like being like a defensive Pokemon gets like higher attack and then lower defense or something
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
that. So it's a bad nature.
It's
on
like
them.
it's like min maxing basically.
Yeah, it's essentially min maxing, and yeah, I see some people re-roll for like even the IVs too, and that's like a 1 out of like a 200 rolls kind of thing.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. I don't know how the fucking people do that shit.
Yeah. That's why like now if I want to play like Pokemon competitively, I just use a website called what's it called? It's like Pokemon Tournament. It's like a website where you can just do all your battles simulated.
Is it you talking about like Pokemon Online Battle?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
it's like a Flash kind of website.
yeah, where you pretty much just simulate all
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
battles.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So whenever I want to battle competitively, I
Mhm.
just play on that.
Mm.
It's called I remember now. It's called Pokemon Showdown.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, that's cool.
no.
After Pokemon, like, what did you do
Mm.
for games?
So for DSs, let's see other games. I played more of the Mario games like Mario Kart, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, eventually, I was able to get my hands on a Wii,
Okay.
and I played the crap out of that too. Playing your typical Super Smash Bros. Brawl, more Mario games. But then I had like this phase where I wanted to be edgy.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I had an uncle who owned a PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Okay, and this was at my cousin's house, and one summer at my cousin's house, I played his games on the PlayStation,
Uh
and the first game I played was Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
huh. Okay.
I'm like, oh my god, wow, what is this? I'm killing people.
Mm-mm.
Wow, this is actually fun. I'm like,
On PlayStation 3. That was your first like taste of just anything Call of Duty.
yeah, up the edge.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm playing like the campaign mode of Call of Duty, and then I'm playing the multiplayer, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I
Mhm.
sucked at it, but this
Mhm.
is awesome.
Mhm.
It made me eventually get a PS3 as well.
Okay.
And my first game that I got on it was Call of Duty World at War.
Yeah, that was a classic game.
Yeah, that's classic.
I love that.
Love the
Zombies on that
campaign.
game.
Love the multiplayer. It was gory, and I loved especially the zombies. That was like I spent school afternoons playing that.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
So a lot of people have played Call of Duty, but me, I've never ever played Call of Duty like that. Because I've had a Xbox, but I never had Xbox Live.
Mm-hmm.
So I would play Call of Duty, but I never played campaign. I never played multiplayer. I only played zombies.
Is it because you had other friends, or is
No, I didn't really have friends growing up like that. I just kind of like play games by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Same
yeah.
with me. Same.
So I
here.
wasn't really like a multiplayer gamer because I didn't have the money to buy Xbox Live, nor did my dad want to buy it.
That's
for
why
me.
you should have got a PS3. PSN.
Didn't you have to pay for that shit though?
No, it was free back then.
Oh, was it?
That was the reason why I
Okay,
didn't want
well,
Xbox
I'm
Live.
sorry, but my dad bought. I'm pretty sure he only bought the Xbox because of PGA.
Wow.
The PGA games. Yeah.
Well, there's that, and like the base model for the Xbox 360 back then was so cheap.
Mhm.
It was like $200, but
Yep.
eventually that thing was gonna get the red ring of death.
Yeah, I've had the Red Ring of Death maybe like 4 times now.
Yeah, those.
We went through like 4 Xboxes.
Yeah, those Xboxes, the base models, they were built like shit.
Yeah, they were built like shit. I'm not
It
gonna
was
lie.
horrible.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons. So Xbox Live and then the Red Rings of Death was something I didn't want to deal with. So I went with the PlayStation 3, and I've never had any issues with it. It's just that PSN, the whole like UI and everything just sucked.
Yeah,
but I
you know,
lived with it.
Xbox 360, bro, like that whole interface, the UI, like there was even a visualizer for the music player. Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
As a little kid, like I was all over that
Yeah,
shit.
the UI was really good for Xbox, the Xbox 360.
Yep.
But for me, that didn't outweigh the cons for me. I didn't really game with other
People?
friends back then. I played mostly by myself. And then not only that, but most people that played those games were on the Xbox, so
Yeah.
I alienated myself.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It was whatever back
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
time.
I mean, you know, back then PlayStation wasn't cool, but now it is.
Now it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Would you
PS2 was
say-
cool.
Okay, PS2 was cool, but like there's this thing, right? It's normies and then like gamers, right? So like which console would you say is a normie and gamer console?
In what generation of PlayStation?
Just back then. Would you consider the PS2 versus the Xbox? That was the original Xbox versus PS2 back then.
During the console war, most definitely the PlayStation 2 won. Do you not agree with that?
I definitely agree.
Like-
Like there are a lot of bangers on the Xbox,
Dude,
though.
Xbox only had Halo.
Okay, that's true.
What else?
You're right. Nothing,
What else?
Nothing much.
PlayStation 2, you got Bandicoot, Sly Bandicoot. You got
Ratchet and Clank.
Crash Bandicoot and Sly Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Ratchet and Clank, as you mentioned. There were so many exclusives.
But Banjo and Kazooie with the Xbox.
Oh, you're right. That is another good
Yeah.
one too. But
Was Spyro on both?
yeah, Spyro was on both.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I only remember seeing Spyro on the PlayStation, so that's why I asked.
Don't quote me on that. I never owned a PlayStation 2.
Okay. Well, I mean, I had siblings, or I don't even want to say siblings, like family friends who had PlayStation 2,
Mhm.
so I would always like play their games.
I didn't want to deal with the memory card problem.
Dude, yeah. Like you would have to buy memory cards just to like save up, and then once you like save up too much memory on that, like you had to buy another memory card just to insert it again.
Yeah, it was rough.
I never
And
had to deal with that, but
I remember I had another cousin who had a PS2, and he got what was equivalent to the Red Ring of Death, where it's like your PlayStation's kind of like in
oh, the
purgatory.
memory, yeah.
It's in,
Yeah,
like, in
yeah,
purgatory,
Yeah,
and
the
it's,
memory
like,
card, and it's just like stuck, and it doesn't like go in. It's like stuck on that loading screen. It's like, and then
Yeah.
it'll go to like a dialogue screen.
Yeah,
like a
and it's
menu
like
screen.
red.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, whoa, what the heck
Yeah.
is happening?
Yeah,
Has
yeah.
Satan,
Yeah.
possessed my
See,
PlayStation?
dude, like there's a bunch of different, console cons. So back then, knowing what you know now, what would you have picked?
What, the PlayStation 2 or the Xbox?
Yeah.
Definitely PS2.
Hmm.
For the Xbox 360 versus PS3 era, I'm gonna be based
Okay.
and say I would still go for the PS3 over
Okay.
Xbox 360,
Okay. Wow.
despite Halo 3, Fable. What else did they have?
Was Fable even that good of a game? I remember seeing Fable.
People said they liked it a lot.
Really?
So I'm gonna count that as a banger exclusive for the
Okay.
Xbox 360. So
Okay.
you got Halo, you got Fable, you got Gears of War.
Gears of War. Oh my god, that was
Yeah.
such a great game. I only remember Gears of War 3 because that's the only game that I played from Gears of War. But Gears of War, and there's this There's this game. It was a shooting game. It was kind of like an extraction based game, I guess. But you're like these two guys who it's a single or no, it's a story co-op mode where you're two different guys on the same screen, but like you're doing the same shit in the same map. I forgot what it's called.
That sounds like every other split screen shooter.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really fun. I really enjoyed that game. But damn, I can't remember the name of it. I guess it wasn't that good then.
Okay, okay. So, but yeah, moving on from like the consoles, I'm no longer a console player, and
Mhm.
I think around seventh or eighth grade is when
Mhm.
I slowly began to make that shift between being a console gamer to the PC master race. So
PC Master
it
Race.
all started with Maple Story,
Okay.
and so like I remember back in middle school. Did you remember like around seventh, eighth grade, you had a bunch of like Korean kids
Yeah.
in whole middle school?
Yes.
There's like, yo, play Maple Story, play
Yep.
Maple Story.
Yep.
You gotta play Maple
Yep.
Story.
There's a lot of Maple Story talk back then.
Is that how you played Maple Story too? You got
No.
some
Well, actually, I had friends that were playing Maple Story
oh
like
beforehand?
way before. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah,
It was like, cause the people that used to babysit me and my little brother, they played Maple Story. Like they were playing Maple Story. They were watching anime before it was even cool. And so I saw it and I was like, yo, this looks kind of fun. Like I want to try it. I tried it out, and then that's when everyone started talking about Maple Story. And then from there, like I just kind of put all my other friends on the Maple Story. I was the one who put like people on the games back then, because I was in RuneScape.
okay.
I was on RuneScape before that, and then after RuneScape, I was on Maple Story for a little bit, and then cracked Minecraft. I remember having to crack Minecraft. You remember the Hamachi days?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, log me in Hamachi.
So, so for Maple Story, what update did you join? I joined in the Big Bang update.
No,
where
I
they-
didn't join Big Bang Update. I'm pretty sure I was in the version 80s. I was in the 80 versions, somewhere around
Back
there.
then, when 1 million mesos meant something.
Yeah, back when the economy was, doing real good.
Did you like the Did you like the economy before the inflation?
Hell yeah, because the market was so fucking like, dude, people at the market were charging like hella crazy prices, but it was for a good reason because it took a grind.
It
to
took a
fucking-
long
yeah,
grind.
it took a grind to
And
get
then
those items.
and then a couple years later, you see all your value go.
Yeah, 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 exactly. It just fucking
It was so funny. Oh,
yeah, fuck the game. I spent way too much time on Maple Story. Actually,
did you spend a lot of time on the economy aspect of the game?
No, I think I just spent a lot of time fucking talking to people and trolling with people.
Oh, in Hennessy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was
Dude.
definitely one of the like me as a gamer. I like to troll around and have fun.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not really good at games, so when I play games, I like to have fun with it because if I'm not gonna be good at the game, I might as well have fun with the game.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Wait, so you're saying how could you be bad at Maple Story?
Dude, you know how fucking people like they pick classes and they know how to like bind their keys and press the right buttons at the right time and like min max their fucking damage and like
Oh.
and they clear maps like really fast and they time it and then they go back to another point and they just fucking like go run through the whole map and they clear it like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay, okay. So
And then
that's what
like
you-
bossing too. It's bossing and mobbing basically. Like I wasn't the best mobber and I definitely wasn't the best bosser.
dude, that's why they have a class called cleric.
Yeah, and like you could be a terrible cleric too. Like
Yeah, that is true.
yeah.
That is true.
You
That
just
is,
have to like manage your cooldowns and shit.
yeah.
And your mana. Dude, every time I fucking boss, I would always die.
Dude.
Because I never paid attention to my HP.
Dude, I gotta throw this out. If you're a good cleric, you're a homie. Because most of the times, when you see a cleric, like 70% of the times,
Yep.
that's a bad player being thrown into that role because that's
Yeah.
the only role that they can kind of
Yeah,
play.
exactly.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, well, I know clerics are in high demand because everyone needs a cleric.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll take a mediocre cleric over no cleric.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
So, did you also play in Scania? Or did you play on Yolanda with
I played in
Yoon and
Yolanda.
Jason?
I played in Yolanda actually. Yeah. So I was a Yolanda boy. I was in a Barrow or a Scania and a Windia actually.
Why'd you-
Windia and Yolanda.
Why'd you play on Yolanda? I
Dude,
don't know
Yolanda,
why.
bro, it had the little the lizard icon.
Dude.
That was the only cool icon besides the Windia one.
Dude, I picked Scania because it was the most populated server. In
yeah,
hindsight,
that's where all the scams were happening. In fucking Scania.
but that's where all the market was happening. too.
Scamia?
Yeah, I did get scammed
No,
a
I
couple
mean
of
you
times.
could have went to Bear too, low key.
But the thing that drew me to be really addicted in MapleStory was most definitely the economy of the
Mm-hmm.
game. Like,
Dude, the open market, the free market, that shit was crazy.
yeah,
That was next level for its time.
yeah.
You literally just walk into a whole like room or a whole instance of like players just constantly spamming like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
selling
It was good times,
Yeah,
man. I
dude.
spent hours on that place.
You know, those people now that are selling that shit, I'm pretty sure like they've grown up to be like entrepreneurs themselves, like selling shit like drop shipping stuff and just like marketing.
Probably because it was just so. It was just we just found it fun.
Yeah, that's
We just
basically
found
what
it
they
fun.
did. They were just marketing their items in a
D-
very cool way.
So one of the niches I was able to build, that I was able to build for when I sold on the Hennessy marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
I sold actual Nexon cash.
Oh yeah, I know people were doing that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
NX.
don't get into that business.
Why
I got
not?
scammed way too many times.
You got scammed, but did you make money from doing that?
You're literally trading money for. I traded money for mesos.
Yeah, you're trading in real life money for in-game money.
Yes, and the only way to do that conversion
Uh huh.
is one of you guys have to cop up the cash first.
That's true.
Okay.
How
So
did you even transact? Like, what did you?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
But do you know the way I got the Nexon cash? I didn't.
You
I was a
didn't buy
broke.
it yourself, yeah.
No, I was a broke kid in
Yeah.
middle school.
Uh huh.
So what I did was, I went to survey sites.
Oh, you did the surveys.
Yeah, I did the survey.
You were those people.
Yeah, I had 10 emails,
Uh-huh.
10 spam emails just to do those surveys.
Okay.
Man. I was mid maxing, getting Nexon cash. Yeah, it was.
Dude, the things that people did back then to get NX was crazy.
Dude, I was desperate. I looked at some of the cosmetics. I'm like, I want to wear that.
Yeah, because back then it was MapleStory and Comet Arms that were like the two biggest games for Nexon.
Yeah.
And then there's Mabinogi Online and like Dungeon Fighter Online too, but I don't think those had like a really big player base as big as MapleStory and Comet Arms. They've had more of like a cult following.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So how would you transact that? So you find somebody, hey, you want Nexon cash?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll trade you.
Right.
I'll give you this much Nexon cash for 1,000,000 mesos.
Mm-hmm.
So what I try to do is I compromise with them. You give me half of your mesos
Oh my god.
first
Uh-huh.
as a down payment,
Yeah,
basically,
Yeah.
and then I'll give you all of the Nexon cash.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
It's like
Damn.
70% of the time. It's like they give me the mesos.
Yeah.
I give them the cash.
Mm-hmm.
Like 30% of the time they dip, but 70% of the time they give the
They actually follow through.
Yeah, they actually follow through.
Hmm.
And it was at the beginning I got scammed so many times. It took me like 3 or 4 months to have a consistent group of people that I could sell Nexon cash to
Okay.
without fearing of being scammed.
So you only sold to people that you knew.
Eventually,
Okay.
like in the beginning,
Back then,
you had to
you sell to anybody.
yeah, you had to develop the connection.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand, finding people that actually sell, Nexon cash was a rare thing.
Mhm.
Because I could be a dick
Yeah.
and be like, "Yo, give me half right now."
Yeah.
I take the 500,000.
Yeah.
I do that emote. You know what that? You know what I'm talking about? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
walk away.
The F3 emo.
Yeah, that's the one. I had so many people do that to me.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, man.
Yeah. But yeah, that's MapleStory. I spent a lot of years behind that. That was pretty much the MMO that I spent the most time on.
Mm-hmm.
Due purely because I was a kid, and as a kid that age, you had a lot of free time. So after MapleStory, I went to play this game called Team Fortress 2.
TF2. Yep.
Yeah, TF2.
Yep.
And that's
Classic game too.
Yeah, that's what introduced me to the Steam client.
Mm.
And let me tell you, what got me into the game was when I saw like a bunch of like YouTube videos of like meet the classes, and I
Mhm,
saw
mhm.
a meet the medic video where
Yeah,
it says
yeah,
like
yeah.
Team Fortress 2 is now free. I'm like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
what up?
Yeah.
I gotta play this game
Dude,
now.
those animations were fire.
Dude, those animations were fire.
Dude,
I was like,
Valve was on something else back then.
let me have a movie with these characters. This looks fun. This looks awesome, kind of a thing. And so yeah, I moved on to Team Fortress 2, and I played to the point where I was playing this class called the Scout.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very mobile class. Has
That's
a
one
double
with the
jump.
sniper, right?
Wait, what?
Scout? Is that the one with the sniper?
No. The scout is like the one that moves very fast.
Mhm.
He's got the lowest HP pool. He has a double jump. He carries a shotgun.
Oh, okay.
I got good to the point where I was able to play like in competitively with other people. So like there was like rank tournaments
Yeah.
that would like establish like through websites, and I was able to join, and I did fairly well in that.
I mean,
at the
even
time.
still to this day, like there's a bunch of tier 2 tournaments that are like still community ran that still pay people out.
It's still
But it's
ran.
all community ran.
Yeah, it's all community. It's still ran, but it's nowhere near as big as what it used to be. You
Right.
know,
But TF2 is like one of those games where it has a cult following.
it hasn't died. It's been out for
It's been out for
like
what,
15 years now.
2007, right?
2007. It's been 15 years now. The game is still going strong.
Do
It's
they
great.
even update the game still? No.
Why do you ask that question?
I'm curious because there's a
yeah.
player base behind it, but like, do
So-
they still update it from time to time, or?
So Valve has been neglecting that game for the longest of time.
Uh-huh.
It's been probably 4 years since the game has a real update. I'm gonna say
okay.
you're real.
Uh-huh.
When I mean real, I mean like new maps created by Valve, new
Okay.
weapons created by Valve.
Mhm.
Like there have been like community updates where they add community-made maps, community-made cosmetics, but it's nothing super big.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So it's literally just all like Steam Workshop stuff at that
Steam
point.
Workshop and cosmetics for the
Okay.
past 4 or 5 years, but yet the community wants more than that. They want like more weapons to play around with.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
know. I know the communities. They have a lot to say about that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So the reason why Valve is pretty much neglecting Team Fortress 2 is 2 reasons. One, there's this. They're trying to port all their games into the Source 2 engine.
Mhm.
So first they did it with Dota 2.
Yeah.
Now they're planning to do it with CS:GO.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? Now,
CS2, right?
Yeah, CS2. And hopefully they're gonna port Team Fortress 2 over to Source 2.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
That sounds like a lot of hopium.
But the problem is, out of the 3 games that I mentioned, Dota 2, CS:GO, and Team Fortress 2, Team Fortress 2 makes money. Don't get me wrong, it makes money, a lot of money for Valve, but nowhere near as much as Counter-Strike and Dota.
how does Dota make them? Oh, the cosmetics.
Dota makes a lot of money for
Does it?
Valve.
Hmm.
You should be surprised. You would be surprised. Like their biggest player base is China.
Yeah, I know that. I know a lot of Chinese players play Dota too.
Yeah, it's a very big Chinese community. Their monetization,
It's literally just like cosmetics. at
it's
that point, right?
cosmetics. I mean, the same thing like League,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's cosmetics. Like, but the thing is, the cosmetics go more. So, like, you know, in League, you get like splash arts and like
Uh-huh.
new models for the
Yeah,
characters,
in-game models.
spells and
Yeah.
whatnot. Really
Yeah.
cool. I spent way too much money on League as well.
Yeah.
But for Dota 2, you got things like announcer packs.
Oh.
You got map changes. You can have map
Oh.
skins. You can have weather
Wait,
skins.
really? That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's really cool. Like some of the announcer packs you can get are like Rick and Morty. You can have Rick and Morty like talk in game.
Mhm.
It's like, oh my god, you got a double kill or something like that.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the customization in Dota 2 is absolutely insane.
Mm.
Like, oh, there's also music packs too.
Yeah.
Loading screens. Trust me, Dota 2 is making Valve a lot of
So
money.
would you say that Dota 2 or CS:GO makes more money for Valve?
I think purely by numbers, I think Dota 2
Hmm.
is grossing more over CS:GO 2.
Okay.
Only being because China is such a
Right.
such a big market for China.
For me, personal experience, I would say CS:GO has made me a lot more money than Dota 2.
You say that because CS:GO.
I've sold a bunch of cases and keys.
Yeah, you say that, but then you got to realize that it's not as CS:GO is definitely not as popular in China. In actual
But
reality,
it's popular everywhere else besides China, though. That's the thing.
you think so? You think it's popular in Korea as well? I don't think so.
I mean, if you take out no, because the Asians for FPS, right? Asia had a different game. What was it called? It was called like Fire something.
Oh,
Counter? No, it wasn't called Counter. Fire Strike.
I know what you're talking about.
right. You know what I'm talking about, right?
So there was there was a one by Nexon called Combat Arms, and then there was another one where like I received the ads. It had like hot girls and like
Yeah,
wielding guns. I forgot
yeah.
the other one.
It
At
was,
First
it was
Strike or
literally
something.
First Strike, something like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
something along those lines. Yeah, but I know that was really big with like the Asia community, because CS:GO is popular with Americas and basically the Westerners, Europeans, Americans.
European is
Yeah,
really big on
yeah,
CS.
CS:GO. Yeah, and then Fire Strike. That's just the name we're gonna give it. I'm pretty sure it's Fire Strike, but it might be something else.
I think they played it casually over competitively.
That's true, because there never really was a big market for it.
Because
And then
like
Combat Arms.
I remember playing Combat Arms, and it was hella casual.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest with you, Nexon did not care
Yeah, they didn't
about
give a shit
their
about
cheats.
that. Yeah.
Like you would play against like a hacker like once every like
No, it
10
was literally
games.
every round. It was literally every round you would play with a fucking hacker. If you played infected, it was a hacker every single game.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were playing deathmatch, there's a hacker every single
Okay,
game.
I may have been too stupid to realize that I must have thought, oh my god, this guy's so good.
No.
I'm getting my
dude.
head
Everyone was literally fucking hacking, bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
that explains a lot.
Yeah, literally. But it was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
I only played Quarantine in Combat Arms.
Quarantine is a very good game mode.
I played on that map where like you close the gate, the
Yeah,
door,
the little
and you
fucking factory.
yeah, it's a jump spot. Oh,
Yeah.
that's some good memories. It was so funny.
Dude, Quarantine was the best. I fucking loved it.
I love memeing people. Like I would go in purposely
Mhm.
into the door.
Yeah.
And like I have other people try to come in, and I just close the door on them.
Fucking troll.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, games. So like, would you say games helped you in your life, like growing up?
I definitely say that games that had like an economy system
Mhm.
really helped me out on how to manage my funds effectively, and it made me realize how much that I like selling stuff to people or
Okay.
providing a service. It's
Mhm.
actually pretty fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it as like a job. I see it's just like a hobby kind of thing. So what I'm doing currently, like right now, is just online, just selling custom posters to people, and I've just been enjoying that for the past couple years now.
How long have you been doing it?
It's been like 2 years now since I've sold posters.
Okay.
I used to sell other things before that. I started on eBay
Okay.
in 2018,
Okay.
and in the beginning, I sold. Have you heard of Paris by Night?
Paris by Night.
You had never heard of that? Okay,
No.
so basically, it's like think of it as like a Vietnamese, like musical,
Okay.
essentially,
Okay.
where they're dancing and they're singing. And it's like very festive,
Right.
right?
Like Cirque du Soleil.
Something similar to that.
Yeah,
So
I
like
don't know.
back in the 2000s, the 2000s to 2010s, where we had VHSs and DVDs, most families had a huge collections of Paris by Night.
Yep.
My grandma happened to have a lot of them,
Okay.
and so I just listed them on eBay. I'm like, what the heck? Let me try to sell these for like a couple bucks and see where this goes. And eventually, I did sell them, and that's how it all began.
Dude, the one marketplace that I've always had success with is always eBay.
You think so?
Yeah, believe it or not, because everyone is always going on eBay to buy something.
I think
I literally, when I was doing my eBay business, I was literally just thrifting and then reselling clothes online. But I had people buy from me.
yeah, it's crazy how like some people are just able to find it.
Yeah, and they're actually willing to buy it on eBay.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
pretty cool. But yeah, just like right now, currently, I shifted my business. Like in the beginning, I used to sell like old DVDs of Paris by Night. Then it became scale anime figures. I was doing some retail arbitrage.
Okay.
I buy like figures in bulk at a huge discount and then sell them on eBay. A lot of the prices for some of the figures, they go up in price because
Supply.
because of supply, and most of the times people that make like these expensive figures, they don't make a lot of them. They only make
Limited supply.
a limited supply.
Yeah.
And then I had a stage where I was selling dakimakuras.
What is that?
Wait, what?
Dakimakuras?
You know what dakimakuras are?
I don't know what a dakimakura is.
You don't?
No.
You're an anime guy though, Gol.
I'm an anime guy, but like,
Okay.
dude, I'm more of like a normie than anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. You do watch One Piece, so it explains a lot.
Bro, what the fuck? One Piece is not normie.
That is so normie
One
that
Piece is not normie.
you can't deny that. Like,
Dude, if anything, One Piece is like anti-normie because the
It's
normies, dude, the normies are like, oh, it's too long, bro. I can't
No, no,
watch
no, no,
One
no.
Piece, bro. It's way too long.
are you saying anime normies like Naruto and Attack on Titan? Is that it?
Yeah.
Your opinion is subjective, and I
My
disagree.
opinion is objective.
It's subjective, and I disagree. But let me explain to you what a dakimakura is.
Okay.
You've clearly seen it before.
I probably have seen it. I just
Yeah.
don't know the name.
So imagine it's a pillowcase.
Oh, that's what a dakimakura is called.
Yeah, it's a pillowcase where it has like the
Oh.
anime characters. One side is like normal,
Okay,
the
yeah,
other side's
yeah,
kind of lewd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what they're called, dakimakuras?
yeah, that's what they're called in Japanese.
Interesting. You learn something every single day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I always call them like pillow
Body
covers.
pillows?
Yeah, body pillows.
yeah.
So you're selling those.
I sold them. Yeah, at a certain time when
How'd you
like,
even get those? Like, what's
I-
the process?
I sourced them out using a site called Alibaba,
Okay, yeah,
and
the
let,
classic.
let me tell you, I went through 3 suppliers,
Mm-hmm.
getting samples of 3 suppliers before I found the right quality
Okay.
that I like. The first quality that I had, I was like, yeah, this is not it, chief.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, I'm like, the colors are too flat.
Uh-huh.
And then the third one, I was like, okay, this strikes the right balance.
Just right.
Yeah, this strikes the right balance. And yeah, and
Goldilocks.
let me tell you, okay, there's one thing I learned. In hindsight, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get like a Kurumi body pillow.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get, certain characters that I think that are
you subjectively thought we're
Uh,
gonna sell.
that are fan favorites.
Okay,
So I'm
okay.
thinking, okay, so there's this chick from Data Live, Kurumi. I'm gonna get a bunch of designs of her. I'm pretty sure it's gonna sell. Sao, Asuna.
Yeah.
Characters that since I watch a lot of anime, I kind of know about a little bit of the waifu culture,
Mhm.
which character is like popular, which one is not.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like I had an edge
Yeah.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I sold a lot actually. If anything, I think in total of how many dakimakuras I was able to sell, it was definitely like at least 2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, 2,000.
Like total.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
It's
Would you say
insane.
like that's your most profitable?
No,
No?
no,
Wow.
because I fucked up.
How?
I'll tell you how I fucked up.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the problem that I hate to kind of put this on the hush hush.
Uh-huh.
Selling body pillows in a copyright sense is a very legal gray area. Because let's think about this.
You would
Let's
have
say
to be licensed by. You would have to be given the required license to sell the actual merch, right?
yes. So the way I thought of it, how I interpret the law was like, as long as this design was created through a fan,
Uh-huh.
like fan
Yeah,
art
yeah,
ish,
yeah.
I can sell it.
Right.
Because a lot of times you see like in the market, in like conventions, you see people selling like pictures of certain anime characters, and it's not copyrighted.
Right.
In Japan they have this thing called Comiket, where
Comic Cat.
you never heard of it.
No.
It's basically where like it's a place where it's a place where like a bunch of vendors and artists sell like dojins and fan creations of certain characters.
Right.
Yeah, it's a huge scene in Japan.
Okay.
And in actual reality, in Japan, they really don't mind this
Okay.
kind of selling
Uh-huh.
because you see it all the time.
This is how like creators get their money. It's like how they're getting paid.
Yeah,
And artists.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is the U.S. works a little bit differently from that.
Yeah, because we have to license everything from Japan.
Yeah. So this created a huge controversy for like selling of body pillows. I didn't
Okay.
get like copyrights from it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it forced a lot of selling online marketplaces to get rid of dakimakuras because of that legal gray area.
Right.
So for not only that, but the problem with body pillows is, okay, so let's think about this. How would you find, one of these dakimakuras? What would you type in the eBay search engine?
I would probably type in body pillow cover. Anime
body pillow cover.
pillow cover.
Okay, so here's the problem with that. What happens if you're like an average Joe schmo
Yeah.
that wants to search, I just want, a body pillow cover for like, just for my big pillow or something, just a normal one. He types in body pillow cover, and then in the search engine he sees a shitload of freaking anime documakers of lewd anime girls, and the normie is like, what am I looking at?
What the fuck is this?
Dude, I'm gonna report all this.
Why am I looking at some fucking porn pillows?
Yeah. It was so bad that it got to the point where, like, if you just type in body pillowcases on Amazon or, like, on eBay or on Etsy, heck, you would literally just see documakras.
Just a bunch of, like, lewd documakras.
Yeah, just lewd. And the casual audience does not want to see that.
Yeah.
So, eventually,
censorship came.
eBay was like, okay, if you list any listings that have the word documakra included, it's going to be removed off of eBay. No questions. Gone.
Wow.
Out of the way. Lewd or not, it's a banned keyword.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I never had to deal with that.
They removed it. And then another thing, they also argued that any anime characters that look underage, removed as well.
But how does this tie into you fucking, like, how did you fuck up?
So one, I saw the writing in the wall. I was like, yeah, this is kind of sus. I don't know how long I can get away with this. I should have stopped ordering more.
Oh, so you ordered more.
I kept trying to scale up my business. Okay, that's where I messed up.
Yep.
And then, well, not only that, I realize now that some characters go out of style.
Some characters go out of style.
So let's say, for example,
like in waifu culture, really?
Let's say, for example, Rem.
Okay.
From ReZero. Have you heard of her?
Yes, of course I have.
Blue chick.
Yeah.
You know, she was super popular, especially in like the 2016.
A lot of people loved Rem.
Yeah, people still love Rem now too. The only problem is, eventually, people are going to move on to the next waifu, or the next generation of anime fans are going to find another character they want a body pillow of.
Right.
Just to change the times. Old design goes out of style, like with clothing.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where, like, I had characters that used to be super popular that weren't selling anymore.
Right.
So now I have inventory where it's pretty much not moving.
So you were catering to your fans, or to the fans, but you weren't really catering to the fans, if that makes sense. Because you weren't keeping up with the times.
I was not keeping up with the times because I had to keep buying more.
Yeah.
And then, like, it got to the point where, like, oh, these old designs, they don't sell anymore. So I'm, like, kind of stuck with them. And in my head, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll just wait, put them at a discount, and see what happens.
Wait, so what did you do with the leftover supply that you had?
They're still stuck in my room. I've been slowly trying to
have them.
Yeah, I have like 1,000. I'm trying to slowly throw them away.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it sucks.
Is it taking up a lot of space?
I was able to reduce like 50% of it within the past year. Not by selling them, but just by throwing them away.
Oh, you're literally just throwing them away at this point.
Yes, just slowly.
You're not even trying to attempt to sell it anymore.
I do have them listed on my website still, but most definitely they don't sell anymore.
So you have your own website?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I create the website solely for the purpose of selling documakras around 2019. And let me tell you, I only got like 10 page views a month in the first year I had at the website.
Were you trying to market your website? Did you do that at all?
Like, do
like
any
marketing?
No, it was just organic traffic.
Oh.
Okay. And I'm just like, I could do paid traffic, but back then, documakara was like a heavily contested keyword, so it actually cost a lot of money to run ads for that. So I was like, F it. I'll just create this website, just sit it here. And then it took like 2 years until I was able to have 1,000 views a month for that website.
Dude, you know what you should have done? You should have just went to a fucking anime con or a convention, set up a booth, and just sold your documakras there.
I really should have, like those people that I saw at MomoCon.
Yeah. Literally just a store full of documakras. That would have sold. People literally right there seeing it in person. They're like, holy shit. And you already had the supply.
Yeah, it is true, but I don't know if I could do it. I feel sad that what happened to me, because literally, let me tell you, within the first couple years when I sold documakras, I was killing it. I was making a profit of like 40,000.
Okay. Like a year, or
Yeah,
within a month?
like no, not a month. 40,000. Like
40,000 a year.
Like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Problem was, I took like half of it to reinvest on inventory that didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so
I mean, you failed, but you learned something from
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So after that, like, what did you do?
I had to pivot.
What did you pivot to?
I had to pivot to Amazon, obviously. I'm just kidding. But that is half right. But also, so what happened was after basically my eBay documentary business crashed out of nowhere, no one's buying them. I got all those listings are removed on eBay. If I were to relist them, I would get banned on eBay. So I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, time to move on. Which
And?
started my Amazon arc.
Okay.
Okay, so at that time, I lost a good amount of money from the business because I obviously told you, 20,000 is reinvested into
Yeah,
the business
yeah.
to get nothing out of it. It kind of sucks, and then taxes to pay
Yeah.
also kind of
Business
suck.
cost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it really sucked. So I had a new business idea. It was called have you heard of Printful and Printify?
I have
So
print on demand, right?
yeah, print on demand.
Yep.
So I try to get into the next fad, which is print on demand.
Mhm.
The only problem is I look at these prices and I'm just like, wow, the margins are really thin on these things.
Yep.
They're super thin. So I'm just, you know what? I'm just gonna try it out. I want to try creating like a store that caters to people who want to upload custom images, and then I'll have Printful print it for me.
Yeah.
Have it shipped.
Mhm.
I think profit-wise,
You did this on Amazon?
no, I didn't do this on Amazon. I did this on eBay and Etsy
Oh,
and my
okay.
own website.
Okay. But this was before your Amazon arc.
Amazon warehouse,
Ah.
where I had to
okay.
work a 9 to 5.
Ah. Okay.
But we'll get to that. So like again, these ideas were coming in my head. I was like, okay, we'll do this poster idea. I'm only gonna make like $8 a poster basically for like the biggest, most expensive poster. But if this works out, if I see a demand, I will switch from print on demand to buying my own printer and then printing that shit out for myself.
Right.
Right. So the first like 4 months, I made like 2 sales.
Okay.
2 sales.
You said the first 4 months?
Yes, 2 sales.
2 sales only.
Yes.
Wow.
With print on demand.
Okay.
And I'm just like,
That's nothing.
I'm like,
You
man,
literally made nothing.
that's $16. Yeah. I'm like, shoot, man, this sucks. All right. I guess I have to go back to a 9 to 5. So that started my arc where I worked the 9 to 5 essentially at an Amazon warehouse.
Okay.
Where I dealt with customer returns, just moving shit around and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay, so around December, right, during
Yeah.
the holidays,
Uh-huh.
like November, December, like as I'm working at my warehouse, I start noticing on my my phone,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I'm starting to get orders now. Like it went from 4 orders, like within like 2 or 3 months to now I'm getting like 5 orders a week.
Right. Whoa. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
It just jumped up out of nowhere because
You didn't do anything different.
I'd say I wouldn't do. I did some little small SEO differences. So for example,
Ah. And what is SEO for people that aren't aware?
search engine optimization.
Okay.
So remember the example of the body pillowcases, documakers?
Yeah, the keyword.
That's keywords. Search engine optimization. You want your buyers to, in order for your buyers to find out your website or your item or whatnot,
Right.
you gotta figure out what keywords are they putting in their search engine to have you listed. There's a lot going on with that simple concept. Like for example, maybe you're selling something that's like really general.
Right.
You're gonna have to fight for your life for some of those keywords. Like maybe like you want like for example, coffee cup.
Right.
Coffee
You're gonna have to compete with all the other
Like
people that
thousands
are
of other
selling.
stores.
Yeah.
Thousands of other stores. The best way to do better on search engine optimization, you see it all the time in YouTube videos, is to find a niche. Find a niche. It will help you stand out much easier. So like for example, if someone's looking for a dog photo coffee cup, you're gonna be the chances of them finding that coffee cup of yours is going to be much better than if they were
Because
just
they're actually typing in something specific
Yeah,
rather
something
than
very
general.
yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, this is a little bit embarrassing. Okay, so I pivot a little bit on my printing business to basically add SEO that would cater to a more mature audience.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Good way to put it.
I optimize my keywords
Uh-huh.
for furry content,
Uh.
hentai,
Uh.
you know,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff, lewd
Mature
and like
content.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I get custom designs with like freaking like characters like with their
Dude, that's
tits.
crazy. It literally drove up your traffic from four sales in like 2 to 3 months to 5 a week
Yeah, it's crazy.
just through that simple SEO change.
I mean, I implemented it around like September. Around September, I didn't see it start like really like gaining because SEO takes time.
Yeah.
It's organic. It
Yeah.
takes time. I didn't really see like the traffic flowing until like October, November.
Mm. So
And
you gave it some time to do its thing.
you could say that.
Yeah.
It was
A
definitely
little,
not me.
A little
Like,
magic was being activated.
yeah, you could say that. So, but yeah, I'm just like getting orders of like anime titties and stuff. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I got banned on Printful.
Damn, that's crazy.
Okay, so I got a new set of problems now.
Mm-hmm. Now you had a market.
I had the market, but my print-on-demand business, they wouldn't print out the lewd content
Yeah,
for me.
they shut you down.
It violates their
The
policy.
supply chain shut you down, bro.
Yeah, because it violates their policy.
Yeah.
Because you got some other person working at their warehouse printing that stuff.
Printing all this
So
shit.
they don't want to see that. So they're like, get this guy out of here with his custom designs. This is too much for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to use up my money and buy a printer. I also had to source like the right poster papers, yada yada yada.
Did you like use your own capital or did
Oh,
you?
of course. Of course, I had to use.
But
my
this capital was from your prior businesses before,
own.
or did you have to like
from my
tap
prior
in?
business, from working at my job. Yeah, I had cash saved up. Yeah.
Okay, so you had to tap into your funds a little bit.
Of course. I wasn't like even when I was getting like during that surge, that initial surge of like 5 orders a week,
Mm-hmm.
I was still being processed through the print on demand,
Right.
and the most expensive poster I sell for is like $44.
Okay.
And you know the profit margin,
No,
what it was for print on demand?
What?
I'm only getting like $8 from it.
that's actually crazy.
Yeah. The other cost is all them.
Mm.
And I wasn't making that much money even after 4 or 5 orders a week,
Right.
right? If you do the math.
Yeah.
So and then they also banned me too, so I was making no money.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I had to learn all the whole process of printing out, the posters, finding the right quality paper that people were willing to spend lots of money on because.
Mhm.
My posters, I list them at a very premium price. 24 by 36 poster print for $44. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
I have 3 sizes. 18 by 24 is $33, and then 12 by 16, a tiny one,
Mhm.
is like $27.
That's expensive.
Yeah, I sell them at a premium. So I had to figure out how to do all of this within 2 weeks, within like a week or two,
Right.
because
You had sales coming.
I had
in.
sales coming in. Print on demand Printful cut me off.
Yeah.
And I got all these orders. Either I cancel them
Uh-huh.
or I try to just wait until I get the process
Damn.
going. I did have to end up canceling a good amount, but a lot of them were willing to wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, how did you even like start that process? Did you just watch like a YouTube video on like printing?
Of what? Of getting a printer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did watch YouTube videos. I went to YouTube. I also figured out how I cheat the system. Like, I realized if I were to buy ink
Mm-hmm.
from the manufacturer, like Canon,
Yeah.
it costs a shit ton of money.
Uh-huh.
The way I do it is I buy it from a third party.
Okay.
I take a syringe.
Uh-huh.
They give me a bottle.
Yeah.
I just basically use a syringe and inject the ink into the cartridges. Yeah, it saves me a lot of money
Does
doing
it?
Yeah, it saves me a lot of money doing that.
Hmm.
So yeah, within like 2 weeks, I was figuring out a lot of like the strategies to print out my posters. And after a couple of test prints, I'm like, yeah, I think this quality is satisfying enough.
Okay.
And then yeah, luckily I was able to get it going for December, and I had a lot of sales.
Hmm. And this is what you're currently doing now.
Yes, this is what I'm currently doing right now.
Posters.
Yeah.
And document? No, not documarkers. No. Just only posters only.
I still do some trading, crypto trading now, here and there as well.
Okay. So
And
you
some
dabble in the crypto sphere.
and some stock markets. But other than that, yes, this has been primarily what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
The sales I'm making now, unfortunately, isn't as much as I made years prior because of the economy going down.
Yeah.
And, buying posters is quite a luxury to have, especially like loot designs.
Definitely a luxury. For sure.
It's also a niche market as well.
Yeah. Super niche.
Yeah.
Have you ever like thought of going outside of anime posters and maybe like comic posters?
Oh yeah, I
or
do have like comics.
movie posters.
Yeah, I do have those from time to time, but
Okay.
it's mostly been like anime characters with their tits out, or like
Mm.
a Marvel character with their tits out,
Yeah, yeah.
or
Wow.
getting forked,
Yeah.
or
A lot of people
getting
like
pegged.
their lewd posters, huh?
Yeah, it's surprisingly a big marketplace, and people are willing to spend a premium because, no one's gonna go to Office Depot to print that thing out.
Yeah.
You
They'd
know,
rather do it online.
They'd rather do it online
through an
discreetly.
independent- Yeah.
in good quality as well, because sometimes that's another thing. I realize a lot of Chinese that sell posters, their quality's kind of ass.
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Well, I mean, that's just literally
That's
Chinese
just-
products in general.
Yeah, that's just the thing. You
It's,
see, like,
it's made for efficiency, right? Like they want to get the most profit margin out of what they can sell.
yeah. You see the colors are all faded out and
Mhm.
everything.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I have an advantage of that because I have like on my listings and in my website I have videos of how what the poster looks like too,
Mm.
so that they can actually see it. It's
Mhm.
like, hey, the colors aren't shit.
Is it a Shopify website?
No. In hindsight, I should have used the Shopify website.
Yeah.
Instead, I used Square.
Oh,
You know the-
Squarespace.
Yeah. No, not Squarespace.
Square?
Square.
Like
Yeah.
the actual processing.
Like the payment processing
What
system.
the fuck?
I didn't know that existed too. I thought Squarespace and Square were the same thing.
No, I mean I know they're not the same thing, but
I thought so.
that's interesting. Do you like using Square?
There's a lot of pros and cons to it. It's cheaper than Shopify.
Okay.
I like the fact that the payment processor for Square is directly linked
It's tied to
into
your
my
actual
website.
site, yeah.
It makes my website feel a lot more legitimate.
Mm.
They have a lot of good templates for their website design. Now, the biggest caveat for them is definitely the people who coded their website templates. They cared a lot about the how it looked
Right.
versus how well it ran.
Right.
So, another thing about search engine optimization, SEO, one of the factors that I didn't know until later on was that how fast your website loads affects how much Google wants to have your website appear
Very
in the
much
search
so.
engines.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
People hate waiting for their fucking website
Yeah.
to load, dude.
Yeah, and
If a website takes more than like 5 seconds to load, I start getting aggravated.
yeah,
I start getting fucking angry.
yeah, I read about that.
Because I'm just like, why the fuck is this shit taking so long? Like, I'm paying how much money, how much a fucking month for a gigabyte of speed for a web page to load like 10 seconds? You know how annoying that is?
yeah. And I'm one of those websites, man. I'm one of those websites. It takes
Oh
45
my
seconds to
God,
load,
dude.
and it
Yeah,
sucks.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, so I realize now that Square's the way they code their website it's slow, and it affects my SEO.
Mhm.
Like when I do a speed test,
Yeah.
my grade is at first it was like an F because
Oh
I tried
my
to
God.
I was trying to be fancy. I was like, oh, we have a lot of moving fonts, a lot of cool
Yeah,
fonts,
yeah.
moving graphics and stuff.
That's a lot of shit that people gotta load in, dude.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it. I was like, man, this website makes me look all cool and fancy and legit. And then I realized all that stuff was hindering my
Your performance.
my performance for the website.
Yep.
Like Google was not going to list my website because it loads way too slow.
Yep.
So I had to upgrade my grade from an F to eventually a D.
Mm.
I can't get it any higher than that. unless I basically strip my website to like absolute
Like
bare
bare
minimum.
bones.
Yeah, and I
kind
didn't
of.
want to do that, so I compromised for a D grading.
Okay. So are you planning on like transferring anytime soon from your Square store to a Shopify store or like
Dude, it would
something
be
else?
such a pain in the butt to transfer at this point. And I had such a long history. It's been like 5 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been,
Okay. Huh. So you're just okay with sticking with Square.
for now.
What happens if it improves your performance and then that correlates to you selling more and
I would love
having more income
I would love that to happen.
flowing in?
I would love that, but definitely it would take a lot of time. And not only that,
You would have to learn
I
something
already have
new.
like a small established customer base.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like for this type of business, you don't get a lot of customers, but the customers you do get,
They're repeats.
there are a lot of repeats. I have like 3 people that have spent thousands of dollars on my posters.
How do you communicate with these people?
What?
How do you communicate with these people?
I just talk with them through Facebook Messenger and like email.
Oh, that's it?
Pretty much.
Huh.
I also use Google Forms, so when they submit like a design, I would just look at it and see if I approve it or not.
Uh-huh.
That's like see like oh if there's like not any pixels that show up. Oh, that's another thing. What that separates me from other competitors.
Mm.
You can like have like a poster design where like you can upload it, and the website won't tell you that. Hey, if I print this out, it's gonna look like shit, all
Right.
pixelated.
Right.
For me, I literally go one by one and check on the image one by one and approve and disapprove it.
Right.
So I have a lot of quality control,
Mm-hmm.
which is what my customers really like.
Mm,
They're like,
mm.
oh, okay, because like literally, some people might send me a design. It's like, can you do this? And I say no, and
You
I
tell
mean,
them straight up no.
I said I can't do this design. It's gonna look like crap.
Oh, okay.
You know, if I was very money hungry, I'll print it out anyway. I'll be like,
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna print it out anyway. It's
But
not
you're
gonna
trying to build like an actual rapport with your clients.
yeah,
and your
loyal customer
customers,
base,
yeah.
and that that finds my stuff that I print out high quality.
Why Facebook Messenger?
Wait, what?
Why do you contact them through
'Cause,
Facebook Messenger?
Because of Square, the website
Square
the
and-
website design automatically has a code that connects Facebook Messenger to my website.
Oh.
So there's like a chat button.
Yeah.
It directly links to Facebook
Oh,
Messenger.
okay, okay. And so you directly go into. It doesn't like catch anywhere else, any other messenger type, or
What do you mean?
app besides Facebook Messenger. Is that like the only place that you can like message people through?
I mean, just email me. There's a contact me page down there.
I mean, yeah, email is pretty antiquated now, though. Like.
It is, but I'm fine with it right now. So
Do you have an assistant at all?
no, it's all done by me.
So you're literally doing everything by yourself.
Pretty much. I'm on like maintenance mode because, like I said before, sales are really slow in the summertime, and not only that, this year has been slow in general because of the overall declining economy.
Yeah. Have you ever had like any assistants at all?
Any what?
Any assistants, like virtual assistants, an assistant that
No,
helped you?
I don't think that my business is big enough to hire an assistant.
Mm.
Yeah,
With the amount of sales that you have right now, it's not worth to scale it up that point.
no.
Mm.
If I were to equate the sales that I'm making right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's equivalent to like $15 an hour.
Okay.
With everything is like all settled.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm not like making bank, but I'm definitely can live off of this a little bit.
Okay. Are you putting in, like, how much work are you putting into this though?
How much work?
Yeah. Like, run me through a normal day.
On normal day, okay, normal day, I check, I check the website, see if I got a design.
Okay.
I look at the design, do a little zoom in on my computer, and be like, okay, does this image, is there going to be like any pixels on it? Or what I also do is I do a reverse image search. I take that same image. Sometimes they give me like a very bad quality image,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I would do a reverse search to hopefully find a better quality image
Okay.
on the internet.
Okay.
If I can't find that, I'll just decline it.
Okay.
If I do manage to find something that's better, I'll tell the customer through message or through email, hey, I can do this design in so size.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I could do it in all sizes. Sometimes I can only do it in a smaller size
Okay.
because the pixels aren't there,
Yeah.
right? After I approve it, I wait for them to pay.
Okay.
And and after they pay, I'll be like, okay, um, I'm just gonna print it out off of my poster.
Hmm.
I'm gonna print the poster out from my printer.
Print the poster out of your printer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, I buy the shipping label.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the poster prints, I kind of lay it down on the yoga mat, let it dry out a little bit. And then after I do that, I roll it up. So there's like this piece of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
I roll it up into like a cylinder, put the plastic over it. I put the plastic over it, and then put it in like a U-line tube, tape it up, put the shipping label on the U-line tube, and then depending on how much I sell, if I only sell like maybe like 2 or 3 that day, I put it in my mailbox.
Okay.
If I sell more, in which my mailbox can't hold, I take it to my local post office.
That's a pretty big fucking mailbox you have, though.
A big what?
Mailbox.
No, it's the mailbox when you put the tubes in,
Yeah.
it like
It doesn't stick out.
yeah, it protrudes.
Okay.
It protrudes.
Okay.
But it doesn't fall out.
Oh.
So I can only put up to like 3 or 4 before like I can't put any more.
Hmm. Okay.
Ooh, but yeah, that's how usually my day goes, and then kind of start over after that. A lot of it is like a lot of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm waiting, I might trade trade stocks, or I just play video games
Okay.
and just wait for like more sales to come in.
So you mentioned earlier that you do like crypto, a little bit of crypto, and a little bit of stocks.
Yes,
What do you do? You just mostly trade,
I just do little small trades here and there.
scalp trading, right?
Right now, I'm gonna be honest, the stock market and the crypto market's kind of shit right now.
Yep.
Because of
There's a lot of blood.
the rising interest rates and the economy just doing super bad right now. Like,
Mhm.
have you heard about China right now? Like,
BRICS, the BRICS nations.
they're what?
BRICS nations. Do you know about BRICS?
Okay, now I don't know about that.
BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And basically what they're doing is they're trying to basically come together and form, I don't want to say a coalition, but they're trying to form a new
To get off the dollar or something?
yeah, basically de-dollarization. So they're trying
Ah.
to de-dollarize all of the commodities that are transacted in the dollar to get power away from the US
Yeah.
and back into their hands. Basically.
Yeah. That's not going to go great so far right now because have you heard about Evergrande?
Isn't that the Chinese real estate company?
Yeah, they just declared bankruptcy like last week.
But there's a lot of companies that declare bankruptcy
But
for
ev-
financial reasons.
But it's a housing company where like
I
So-
saw those pictures where like they were responsible for building fucking like high rises in the middle of fucking nowhere.
okay, so for example, think of it like this. Real estate is people, treat that as a really safe investment.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's like, oh, buy real estate. It rarely goes down. It's the safest investment, guaranteed
yeah.
profit.
Yeah.
Well, you get a bunch, Chinese, the middle class Chinese
Mhm.
investing into real estate
Mhm.
from Evergrande,
Mhm.
where they tell you, hey, I'm gonna build this building.
Right.
All right. If you invest in me, you get to have this building.
You
in
get
which-
a percentage of the building.
in which you can percentage, and then you can sell it back to somebody else.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Eventually,
Mhm.
because housing market is a good investment.
Yeah.
Well, if this company goes bankrupt, they're not gonna have money to pay the workers to build houses.
Yeah, that means
And
the banks own.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that means the banks would own, or the government. Either the banks or the government would own the actual buildings themselves. Because what happens if
Yeah,
a
yeah,
company
yeah.
goes bankrupt?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But I'm also saying like buildings that these investors invested in that don't even exist yet. They haven't been
Yeah,
built, but they're in
yeah.
the planning process.
Yeah.
And then they go bankrupt. Now their investment is kind of like, well, if I don't have a house, and if you don't have my money,
Mhm.
where's my money? Because there's some people that put their retirement funds into these into Evergrande.
I mean, I don't know why people would like put money into real estate like that right now, especially with how the economy is going, because it's kind of similar to how
2008.
2008, yeah, is playing out.
Um,
Similar Similar. I don't want to say it's the same, but it's similar.
Yeah, it is very similar, but again, usually people
Different
don't.
catalyst.
Yeah, usually people don't notice this until it hits them.
Yeah.
A lot of times,
Yeah.
just it just is how it is. Like for example, the body pillow cases. Like I could kind of read the writing on the wall, but when it hits you, you
That's true. So you think that the bankruptcy of Evergrande is collapsing the stock market right now? Like that's
I would not say just that. There's a bunch of other macroeconomic factors. You got that. You got China having a very deflationary economy. You also got China's labor force pretty much dwindling because of the one-child policy. Right now, I think the average age in China is like 40 something.
yeah, it's a little bit older.
So 10 years from now, China's not going to have a strong workforce anymore because the golden age for like for your population within within a country is supposed to be like 30s, young 30s to like 25.
Yeah.
That's like the
Late
best,
20s, late 20s, early 30s.
that's the best age because you got a workforce that can still produce for the economy, and they're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna. They're usually healthier. They're not. A lot of the health problems usually come during the latter halves of someone's lifespan, so like around
Right.
40, 50. And then not only that, there's still that drive to keep making money at that age.
Yeah, I mean-
versus slowing down and settling down.
But the population crisis is a big thing everywhere. It's not even just China. Did you
it's not,
notice?
it's actually not that big in the U.S. right now.
Well, I mean, more and more people in the U.S. are afraid to have kids because one, they don't have the money to afford a kid, and two, they're still making what, like, minimum wage with how much they have to fucking pay off for their student debts and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
go to college. I don't know if you noticed, but in Japan, it was literally a like 40% decline in population.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I was
Yeah.
gonna mention Japan too.
Yeah, yeah. Japan is probably like the leading factor in depopulation, or not the population crisis.
Yo, this is something totally random.
Mhm.
So I played this really awesome visual novel. You know what a visual novel
I know
is,
what
right?
a visual novel is.
So
Yes.
I played a visual novel with with that concept about the declining population.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 And what were your thoughts on that?
You know how they solved that, right? I think you know where it goes.
No, I don't.
I think you know where it goes.
The bees and the birds.
I think so, yeah. But yeah.
That's why so much anime nowadays is like, it's literally just fucking. It's just degraded into that because that's
there's
how
so
the
much fucking.
It's because the Japanese are trying to they're trying to get their population to reproduce, but
Dude, I don't know about that, man.
you don't think so?
Listen, man. One of my friends that came back to Japan. He gave me a onaho, bro. He gave me an onaho.
Why would you get an onaho if you could you could just get a real woman?
Fucking ass. He gave me that onaho. He's trying to tell me something. He's trying to tell me I don't get any bitches.
Do you get bitches?
No, I don't. But I haven't used the. Granted, I haven't used the hole. It's completely wrapped in plastic. I've never opened it, and I never will.
Okay. Would
Promise
you? So why haven't you gotten bitches? You know, you're getting the riches, but no bitches. Is it just something that you're not like focused on right now?
I think the proper term, what the kids use nowadays is I lack riz. I lack a lot of charisma.
Well, I think
de-
the first thing you should not say is the kids nowadays.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
don't
that's
say the
why.
kids.
This is probably why I don't get any bitches. But
So you saying you have no riz? You know what the term riz originates from?
yeah, charisma.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned about it. I know
Okay.
I know a thing or two.
Okay, so you know a thing or two, but is it something that you're focused on? That's the question I'm asking.
Okay, so, but real talk with relationships, I definitely think that my attempted relationship from back in my college years
Uh-huh.
has pretty much scarred me for life.
Attempted.
You know,
Yeah.
you
No,
know what I'm talking about, bro. You know what I'm talking about,
I mean,
right?
we've been friends for so long. I know your situation.
You know my buddy's too. He's
Yeah.
kind of. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
the Kim
but
Kardashian effect.
look. I'm gonna say this like here right now on air. I don't even think that was worth your time or attention.
It really wasn't. You're
yeah,
right.
Yeah, it wasn't, and so you shouldn't really beat yourself up for the fact
okay,
that it
okay.
didn't go so smoothly.
Okay, well, this is not the first time. A lot of people like to, how you say it, describe me as a very dense anime protagonist. I remember in middle school,
Hold on, is that how you see yourself though?
in hindsight, when they tell me this stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so. So, for example, in middle school, I had a girl
Okay.
ask me out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a science class. It was physics in
Okay.
middle school, 8th grade.
Yeah.
She's a really cute girl.
What
She-
would you rate her?
Huh? I would rate her like around a 6 or 7. Probably how I rate
Above
myself.
average.
I would probably rate myself around like a 6 or something like that. But
That's a pretty good rating.
wait, what?
I said that's a pretty good rating.
You think so? 6
Yeah.
out of 10?
That's above average.
I mean, granted, yeah. So
I mean, that's all we strive to be, right? Above
yeah,
average.
she asked me out,
Uh-huh.
but in my head at that time, I was like, you know how kids, where like like a lot of girls like they dare other girls to be like, yo,
I dare you to.
I dare you
go
to
ask
ask
him
that
out.
guy out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I never had that happen to me,
Uh-huh.
but I hear it all the time from like other people or like rumors or like from shows and stuff like that.
Right.
So I thought
You
this
thought it
chick
was a prank.
I thought this chick was pranking me.
You thought you were getting
So-
pranked.
I looked at her with my face my typical stunned face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No. I answered it. It took me 5 seconds. I looked at her, and I was like, she was like, hey Hanson, do you want to go out with me? And I looked at her for 5 seconds, shocked, confused, nervous,
Uh-huh.
all these emotions coming
Yeah,
into me at
yeah,
the same time.
yeah.
And I said, no.
Were you like friends with her before?
See, that's the thing. Oh, I remember now. Her name is I knew her in class. You know, we talked, but I wouldn't consider us friends. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I was definitely with my boy group
Uh-huh.
in my physics class way more than with her.
Right.
And I felt like my interactions with her was very, very little.
Okay.
You know?
But maybe she was interested in you enough to the point where she wanted to get to know more about you.
Possibly,
Yeah.
probably.
That's
but
probably the reason why she asked out.
yeah,
asked
but
you
the
out.
Hanson at the time was like, okay, this is probably a prank. I'm scared. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, and see, like, are you still the same now versus back then? Because that's middle school. You're
Just a little bit,
25
because just a little bit, because like, you know what happened to her? Like, for a week she didn't go to school,
Damn, you
and
broke her
apparently
heart,
I heard
bro.
rumors from her friends that she was crying.
Yeah, you broke her heart, Hanson.
Yeah,
You're a heartbreaker.
I made her cry.
You're a heartbreaker.
I'm just like,
All
what?
because you had trust issues. You're a heartbreaker.
Yeah, it was horrible. It's scarring. And then there was this other incident in high school with another chick where she was like super clingy.
Okay.
I was like, who is this girl? And that didn't go anywhere. It was just really weird.
Mhm.
And then, that other
Yeah,
girl
yeah.
in the college years where I tried to pursue her and it failed absolutely miserably.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, I look back on that and I cringed super hard.
Okay, yeah. See, look, that's the right reaction to have. You should be cringing at yourself because, like, if you really look back at it and like see what you're trying to go for, you know that you definitely could have done better than that. And like, you shouldn't let that kill your mojo. You know? You feel me? Like,
It shouldn't, but
it
has.
did.
It has.
It did.
yes.
So what was so scarring without giving out too much?
I felt like I kind of pushed too much on her
Mm-hmm.
when
Trauma dumping.
when she really didn't want it,
Mm.
you know?
Mm.
And I didn't understand the signals.
Right. You kind of have to like feel out the other person, see how they're
Yeah.
like vibing out with you.
Yeah, and it just didn't work out. Like she was clearly not interested in me, and now we don't talk to each other
Do
anymore.
you ever have like whenever you're having conversations with people, right? Do you have like anxiety every time like you're talking? to
Anxiety?
Yeah. Are
Um,
you like too self-conscious at times?
Yes, most definitely. I have a lot. So, how can I describe this? So, I think at a very young age, my parents have always thought, I thought differently.
Mm-hmm.
I think I reacted differently.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them might even argue back then that they thought I was autistic.
Okay.
Okay, just for some of my mannerisms that I do,
Mm-hmm.
that I still do today.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I don't know if you notice sometimes golf, like if I'm not like super, super engaged in the conversation,
Yeah.
I try not to look at your face.
Right.
Because I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, that's a problem I struggle with. I actually struggle with eye contact a lot.
Yes.
Eye contact is super scary to me. But like through doing this, I'm practicing and it's getting a lot better.
Yeah,
But like for the most part, like if I'm talking to someone and I have eye contact, I'll look at them, and then like if I get too in my head, or if there's like something I'm thinking about, like I'll just be like, oh shit, I can't look at this person in the eye, and I'll just look away. And like,
yeah. I
yeah.
just there's like certain times where I just can't make eye contact. It's super hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, have you noticed it when you talk to me sometimes? Like you don't notice that I don't make eye contact
I
with
mean,
people sometimes
yeah, of course I noticed
versus
it.
now.
Because like if I'm making eye contact with you, like you're like your eyes are just like all over the place. Like you're like scared to like actually lock in eye contact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's different when I'm like doing like when I'm discussing. I do really think that I make eye contact more when I'm discussing a lot of like
When you're engaged with the
when I'm
conversation.
engaged
Yeah.
or when I'm listening or having like a very long
But if it's
conversation.
something uncomfortable, that's when you start to
or
break
something
eye contact.
or something quick is like, oh hey Hanson, how's your day? Or like, oh hey Hanson, can you do this for me?
Yeah.
Sometimes when they ask these like sometimes simple tasks, I don't look at the person's face sometimes. So
Would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert?
almost definitely an introvert.
You're an introvert.
Heck yeah.
Really? I would say you're like an extroverted introvert.
Is it because of the way I talk in this podcast?
It's not even this podcast. I've known you for so long. Like you're very outspoken. Way more outspoken than an introvert would be.
Okay, I'm clearly not Jason. I'm clearly not Yoon, but I do have opinions that I can be very vocal on.
Exactly.
But
like, every time you go out in public, you would always be
in charge of the conversation, right?
not even in charge. Like you would always be the first one to say something if there's something that like needs attending to.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not a very like introvert trait.
So here's the thing. I don't do that if I see. So let's say, for example, we hang out with Frank and Paul. Those people are pretty loud. They control a lot of the room. If we have somebody with them in that group, I won't talk as much.
Okay.
Because there are certain people that if you have in the room, they're gonna talk a lot and they're gonna keep conversations going.
Yeah.
If you notice me in those rooms where you have people that are able to keep the conversation going, I'm actually pretty quiet.
Yeah, yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there isn't anybody that has like a very demanding presence and they don't want to control the conversation, then I'll start talking to break up the awkward silence. I think this was a trained thing that I did because in the past, back when I was making friends in like elementary, middle, and high school, I never was friends with like the crowd that develop a clique. I was friends with like the outcasts, the quiet people, the
people who never went out of their way to like actively talk to people.
Yeah, like the people that are like quiet or like just playing by themselves. I would go up to them. I guess this makes me sound like an extrovert by talking to other introverts, but the way I saw it, it was like, hey, if that introvert over there, if I could talk to him, I'm pretty sure he'll be friends with me because, I think we'll have a lot in common.
Like I said, extroverted introvert.
Yeah, I guess, that definition does make a lot of sense. That's how I met a lot of my friends, like, even to this day, I kind of just saw them, just by themselves, and I just try to...
I mean, the
weed
friend
my
group
way in.
is really... It's been intact since, like, middle school for the most part.
Yeah, it's
like,
been taxed since middle school, yeah.
Which is pretty rare in my case, because growing up, like, I didn't have a lot of friend groups. I didn't even have a lot of friends because I was just constantly moving. So the idea of making friends for me was just something that I wasn't really worried about or wasn't really prioritizing because, like, there's no point in moving to a new school or, like, a new house or a new area, making friends with somebody, and then literally 3 months after, I'd never see them or I'd talk to them ever again.
Yeah.
So I kind of developed that habit of where, like, I'm just going to, like, kind of do my own thing and not really make friends. So, like, I guess that's where I kind of have the, like, introverted side of me.
I totally feel you, man. I think I have not that many friends. I do have a good amount of acquaintances, but I have probably, like, within my hands, I can count all my friends within, like, both of my hands. So I may not have much friends, but I feel like I'm close with the friends that I got.
Okay.
But yeah.
And so, going back to the question then, would you want to look for a relationship?
Yes.
Yeah?
Back to the
Yeah.
the relationship. So the thing is, golf.
Yeah.
How would I search for a relationship? Do I have to go through Tinder? Got to go through.
Well, you're not really asking the best person for that. I don't see what I like to do for advice on relationships is just go to places that you enjoy going to, like hobby wise. So if you like reading books, if you like um, just being in secluded areas, like most of the time you'll find someone there that's attractive to you based off of like physical looks or even just like mannerisms. Like if you pay attention to them or if like you see them enough and like you interact with like them, not like a conversation wise, but like if you just interact with them like, hey, what's up, how you doing, like I see you here and there, like I would say that's your best bet. A lot of people would say Tinder, Hinged, all these like dating apps, but I personally don't agree with them. I don't like dating apps.
Me neither.
Only because it's mostly hookup culture.
Yeah, it's mostly on hookup, and I'm not looking for hookups.
Yeah, it's mostly hookup culture, or it's mostly like hey, you're looking for like friends that are out of state because you're visiting from out of state. But for the most part, like going to places that you normally go to every single day, like a cafe or a bookstore or a library or just even like I don't know, the gym. Like if you see someone at the gym,
See, I feel like these are really good strategies if you're attractive.
but you have to look at yourself as attractive. If you feed yourself the negative connotation that you're not attractive, that you're not, like handsome or Chad like, right? Then you're gonna output that energy, and everyone's gonna see it because that's how you view yourself. So when you view yourself that way, and you give off that energy of like, oh, I'm not cool enough, I'm not like handsome, I'm not Chad enough, then no one's gonna want to talk to you because you have that low self-esteem and self-confidence in yourself.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah. That's why people say positive affirmations to themselves all the time.
Positive affirmation.
Mhm.
I feel like you do that a lot, Golf.
I try to. Sometimes there are days where I feel like I'm down in the dumps, and I really try my best to like hide the fact that I am down in the dumps because I don't like being that person who's like bringing down the mood or the vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
See, I think I'm quite the opposite of you. I am what I think you would call negative affirmation. So,
but that's most people though. A lot of people.
no, but like, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to do this. But then I keep the expectations low. So when I do beat it, I'm like, oh, what a pleasant surprise. I actually did it.
But see, like that's like setting the bar too low for yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like you're giving yourself such an easy goal to achieve that once you hit it, yeah, you get that dopamine rush. But like after that dopamine rush, what's next?
See, I don't know. It's worked out for me. Like, I felt like, when I did, this whole journey of being an entrepreneur of like, what, 2018 to 6 years, it's something that I did in 6 years, someone could have done easily in like 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, but see, you're comparing yourself to somebody else at that point. Why would
Yeah.
you want to compare yourself to?
Yeah, but
how
like I'm
other
saying,
people
like during the times where I was like slowly building my business, I took very small steps. I'm like, oh man, this is so underwhelming. I don't think I can do this. But then like after I tried and then like beat the hoop, I'm just like, wow,
okay.
maybe I can do it.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Right? It took you 6 years to build up to a point where you're okay with being at right now.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that it could have taken someone else a year to get there.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. So then do you feel like you're just as successful as that person who got there in 1 year versus your 6 years?
For me personally, I think that if I were to try to do that, what I do within a year or two, I would burn myself out.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, this is the only way that this works for me.
For you.
Yeah. Someone else could do
But
it
you're
fast.
not but you're not like comparing yourself to that person who
Yeah,
did
I'm
it
not
in a year.
comparing myself directly. I'm just saying someone else could do it like much quicker.
Right.
Because my whole process, my thought process,
Okay.
my whole, layout for everything is much slower, and there's a lot of distractions along the way. But this
But
has
you're
worked.
okay with that.
But yeah, this is okay for me.
Mm.
It has worked for me, and I'm pretty okay with it. 'Cause
Okay. I
yeah.
mean, see, from like my perspective, it seems like you're very in tune with like how you act and how you operate as a human being, as Hanson, right?
Mhm.
So then you just kind of have to be comfortable with yourself and being in awkward situations, because when you're gonna meet people, it's gonna be awkward at first because you're literally meeting someone
Dude, here's
for
the
the
real
first time.
question. How
Yeah.
do you have the courage to go walk up to a girl and be like, hey,
You
can
know,
you go out with me? Because that's got to be the scariest thing.
again. You're not asking the best person about this,
Go,
but
go, go. Listen. Okay, let me tell you another story. I think around like 2 years ago, when I was in Books a Million, I'm just reading a book, reading my manga,
yeah.
and again, it happened again. Some random girl was like, I didn't know her age. She looked fairly young.
Okay.
I didn't want to ask her age because I felt like sus. But, I'm just reading,
I mean, I feel like nowadays you should be asking.
yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm just reading, my latest issue of like a manga at the Books a Million. Just testing it out, ready to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Girl walks up to me and be like, hey, um, you're a nice guy. You come here a little bit often.
Right.
Can I have your number? And I'm just like,
you should have gave her your number.
I'm just like,
she asked you for your number, bro.
now it's not.
Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah. So I'm just like, it's okay. Now it's not really a good time.
Did you find her attractive?
Huh?
Did you find her attractive?
I was really confused at the moment.
Okay.
A lot of times I get stunned. It doesn't matter whether they're attractive or not. I
Mhm.
just get stunned when like a girl or
So
somebody.
you're asking me all these questions. You know what it ties back to? It ties back to your lack of experience in these situations.
It really does.
Yeah. So how are you gonna get experience if you keep on turning down all these opportunities that people are giving you a chance to learn through these experiences, Hanson?
Dude, because it's so stressful, man. Being there like that.
Well, if you
oh,
want a relationship, you're gonna have to know how to talk to the other opposite gender.
it sounds so hard, man.
Well, it's either you,
see,
it's either you get your dick hard or you get.
Dude, relationships. That's hard.
It
That
is hard.
Most
Relationships is definitely hard.
It's
for
definitely
sure.
hard. Some people can make it work, some people don't. And that thought of it not working out scares me. And also the thought of,
Well, you haven't really tried it out, so you don't even know what
yeah, I
it's
haven't
like.
really tried it out.
Yeah, yeah. So you can't knock it down before you try it. You have to have that experience somehow, some way. When you're in a relationship, you definitely learn a lot about yourself.
Oh, really?
Yes, you learn a lot about yourself. Like how you interact with someone else who's also in your personal space with you at the same time as you, while also like sharing, like little things here and there about like who you are as a person. Like how do you fucking operate throughout the day? Like it's like small things that like you catch and like you notice that the other person catches about you that you wouldn't even notice about yourself.
I see.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I don't know. The relationships it's just a big yikes to me. I don't know if I can try.
Yeah,
I don't know if I should try.
I feel like you should. Like you're looking right now. Would you say that you're in a comfortable position where you're okay with where you're at with like in terms of money and like how you make your money?
I'm going to say no.
No,
Because my income fluctuates.
it's not stable.
It's not stable. One year I could be making bank, and the another year I can make next to nothing.
Mhm.
And then there's the fear of what happens if my business just gets shut down out of nowhere.
So how do you deal with that as like an entrepreneur, right? Like how do you set yourself up to the point where like if those things do happen, how are you gonna prevent like a downfall in income or like
The only thing I can do right now is pick up another job to supplement, either pick up another job to supplement my income, or just have other plans and
You don't have
diversify
any-
or diversify at the in case something goes wrong. So like for the body pillow cases, I had that thought of having a print on demand business for a long time as well. The closure of the shop pretty much was like was a sign basically saying, hey, now you have to do print on demand or else, because scale figures, the money has dried up for that. The body pillowcases has dried up for that. You got to try this, and if it doesn't work, you got to keep trying something else. And if you don't have money, work a 9 to 5 until you can try something else.
That's true. But you don't have like any funds set up where like just in case you don't have something like going for yourself and you don't want to work a 9 to 5.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm constantly trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm trying to think of ideas to keep my business afloat.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those times they fail,
Mhm.
and sometimes they succeed.
Mm.
So, for example, one of my other business ventures that I was also kind of planning on doing too was this is in between the period of like documakers and the posters.
Okay.
I also tried selling Nintendo Switch screens.
Okay. The screens for Nintendo Switches.
Yeah, like the safety
Yeah,
screens so they don't
yeah,
crack.
Yeah.
Bought a few samples, tried to list them, realized that the market is super competitive, so lost money there. I tried doing custom Switch controllers. I get like these cases, like these shells of the Switch controllers,
Mm-hmm.
and I just replace them with the different colors.
Okay.
They look really cool, but they take a long time to install. Like uninstall the old case
Mhm.
and put on the new case,
Mhm.
and to have a random person do this installation process, it's gonna be hard for them, and I worry that there's gonna be a lot of returns because most people might break it while they're trying to install or reinstall.
So would you say that like as an entrepreneur that's something that you need to have is just like being okay with the instability?
Yeah, you have to be okay with the instability. You also got to figure out, like, you also got to realize, hey, what your business is doing right now might not work for in the next year or two. Just look at, businesses from the 1990s. They used to exist. People thought they were too big to fail, and they failed. Like, look at Sears.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that company. Like, in the 90s, everyone would buy, like, a Sears, like, product or Sears shirt. They were the thing. But now
Sears was legit.
yeah, but now they're bankrupt and they're gone. No one
Yep.
buys from Sears anymore.
Yep.
Now, even now, I think, in the early 2000s and like the mid 2000s, do you remember Abercrombie and like Hollister?
Yeah.
Do you remember how like big they
You're
were?
wearing a Hollister shirt right now.
Yeah, the shirt is like 10 years old. I still fit it because I'm so tiny. But now you know that those stores are nowhere near as popular as they were back then.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
We got new generation of stores like J. Crew, Zara's, and H&M to fill the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Fast fashion.
for the new generation.
Yeah.
That's how fast like businesses like can be. Like you have to either adapt or just die.
Mm.
Another perfect example is Wish,
Yes.
the Wish app.
Yep.
It's completely dead now because
Really? Nobody uses
because of Temu.
I've heard of Temu.
It's just a way better app than Wish.
But there's a lot of scams going around with Temu.
Well, Wish has a lot of scams. Alibaba.
I mean, they're all scams.
AliExpress has a lot of scams.
It's very easy to scam people.
But Temu, out of all the other apps, they ship the fastest. They have the least amount of scam rate, and their UI is better. It's just a better app compared to the other two.
Okay.
Even regardless if there's scams or not. Okay. Now you have these businesses about to go bankrupt. My business, hey, maybe somewhere down the line, some other Joe Schmo can get a printer and like start printing custom designs of hentai images too.
Yeah.
And then I have to split the customer base between him and me.
Okay.
And then like I just gotta there's all these things that I have to think about in the future that could possibly happen. And if they do happen, I have to prepare for it.
But that's so much like thinking and
forward thinking, yeah.
Yeah. But like don't you want to get to a point where like you don't have to think about that anymore? Like you want to know that you have a successful business that is pretty evergreen, that's bringing in like a stable income flow, and then you're just building upon that instead of like, oh, I'm in survival mode, like what happens if this business fails? Like now I have to find something new.
Yeah, I love that. I do. Don't get me wrong. I love that. That's why I do a little bit of investing, dabbling here in like the stocks and the crypto exchanges, right? Still. But again, everything is not set in stone. Everything, like for me, the path that I chose and what I like, and what I'm selling, it's not a stable path, but it's a path that I do enjoy doing. I could be, selling something more consistent. I could be like maybe selling real estate. I don't know, something else.
But this is what you chose to do.
Yeah, it's what I chose. It's kind of the path that I set myself out for. At least I'm enjoying it, even if the road is going to be rocky ahead. Like for example, golf. You're doing this podcast too. You can't say that this is something that's, not rocky or bumpy.
It's definitely rocky and bumpy for sure.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that I have to deal with, like a lot of curveballs, that I have to deal with, especially since I'm doing this by myself. But I mean, it's like you said, adapt or die, right? Like if I don't adapt, then I'm gonna die.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, you want to get to the point where you want to have like stable as well.
Yeah.
I also too. but I always prepare for the worst before the best
Oh,
happens.
yeah, for sure.
That's my thought process.
Mm.
That's how I'm gonna see it.
Well, with this, I kind of have a backup plan, but like not really.
See, another thing. I used to be much more cheery and more bright-eyed in like entrepreneurship back in like the eBay days of when I was selling body pillowcases, because I was like, oh, my business failing? That can't possibly happen.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
everything's going up. Stocks go up.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
can go down.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it happens to you. Like that. You went from riches to rags right there.
Yeah.
So now I'm scarred. I'm like, I have to learn my lesson. Like, I can't be too greedy. I have to think. I have to forward think, and plan ahead.
Yep.
I gotta learn from my lessons.
So, back to topic at hand. You were talking about adaptability, but now, since I do kind of want to wrap this episode up, it is getting a little bit long. I want to know, what are your thoughts on aliens?
Ah, yes, aliens. So most definitely, I think that there is life out there,
Okay.
but not in our solar system.
So, not in our solar system or not in our galaxy?
I said solar system.
Solar system? Okay.
Galaxy is a possibility.
Okay.
Because you see, like, in the whole... I forgot what the telescope name was. The
Hubble scope?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hubble telescope or whatever. You see planets that have water, H2O in it.
Right.
Like, planets that have Earth-like atmospheres.
Right.
So, it's possible.
So you do agree that they exist,
I think so, yeah.
but just not in our solar system.
Well...
Why do you say that?
Okay, I heard from Mars they were digging up some like the dirt in Mars, and they found some like single cell organisms in Mars.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember it completely, but I think that's what I read. If you count that as aliens, then I guess yes, but other than that, no.
I mean, but it's a life form that's on another planet,
I mean, that is true.
right? Even if they were single cell. Would you count a single cell organism as a life form?
Okay, yes, but do you remember that article? Because I forgot. Read it. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't remember an article about single cell organisms being found on Mars. The
Yeah.
only thing I know about Mars was that this is what I heard. I heard this from a recent Joe Rogan podcast, actually, with Post Malone. But apparently, they found like traces of iridium or something, some like mineral that's found in like it's found like after some like nuclear reaction happens to like the land or something. So they said something about a nuclear war happening on Mars, and that's why like there's no life on Mars. Pretty interesting, but I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's factual. I don't have.
I mean, they said nuclear reaction. Quite possibly, it wasn't a nuclear war, but just like a nuclear reaction happened within Mars that just killed everything.
But what kind of nuclear reaction could it be? Like, what could it possibly be if there's no life forms, right?
That I don't know.
Does a nuclear reaction happen organically in nature?
I'm not the smartest light bulb out there, so I don't freaking know. The most I know about atomic bombs is what I've seen in Oppenheimer.
Yep.
That's all.
Mm.
Okay.
But you do agree that aliens exist, just not in our solar system, but maybe within our galaxy.
Yes.
Like, what other facts, or not even facts, but what other like evidence have you gathered to come to that conclusion?
That I have gathered? Well, I haven't seen no sticking alien on our planet yet.
What happens if there are aliens on our planet, but they're in the life form of a human? Like they're like shapeshifting
like
into
like
humans.
Secret Wars from like Marvel, where like humans are disguised as aliens.
Or
Like, they're-
aliens are disguised as humans.
Oh yeah, and they're living amongst us.
Yes.
Like in Parasite, like that anime as well.
Yeah. You don't think that could be a possibility?
It is a possibility. Like, for all we know, if I do find a girlfriend, I could be fucking an alien too. But I don't know.
Would you be down for that?
It depends.
It depends. Why does it depend?
If
What happens if
What-
the alien is literally shapeshifting into the... If she's your girlfriend, right? Okay, let's just say this alien was your girlfriend. She already transformed into a girl that you already found physically attractive. So what makes you think that it matters?
golf, listen, man, This reminds me of another visual novel. It's called Sayo no Uta, where
Okay.
basically there's this like you got into a car accident,
Yeah.
and all you can see is like your brain. Everything is like absolutely disgusting, gore, like whatever. Your brain's all messed up. But the
Okay.
only thing you can see is this girl, and she's very pretty.
Okay.
But POV, everybody else sees her as a giant globulous monster.
Ah.
Okay,
Uh-huh. It's kind
you see her as a very pretty girl,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
you get to copulate with her.
You know what's crazy? That visual novel reminds me of a Black Mirror episode.
A Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where have you seen it? Where it's like the dude he goes into fucking outer space or whatever. Oh no, it's not a Black Mirror episode. It's a Sex, Death, and Robots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a Sex, Death, and Robot. I think that's the name of the show. But it's basically like the dude travels to a fucking planet that's already infested by like spiders or some shit. But like he, in his eyes, he doesn't see like a spider planet. He sees like a pretty girl.
Yeah, Paradise.
Yeah, he's in paradise, and it's like a wasteland. But like the pretty girl is there. But the pretty girl turned out to be that spider fucking queen who ruled over that planet, and it's like a desolate land.
Yeah, and like so, like in the visual novel, you know, the girl's a monster.
Mhm.
She eats things.
Mhm.
She eats people. But in his head, it's like, oh, she's killing that, you know, that evil monster in his eyes. So that's the way I see it. In for like if there was a alien that's disguised,
Yeah.
if that alien if that alien's base form looks like something from like, you know, Aliens versus Predator or like the Aliens movie,
Okay.
I'm backing the fuck away.
It's interesting that you bring that up because in a lot of mainstream media, they like to depict aliens as like a humanoid form. Do you think aliens have humanoid forms, or they could be like something else?
I
entirely?
definitely think it helps having a humanoid form
Mhm.
because let's face it, I'm not going on to Rule 34 to search up, you know, Aliens versus Predators.
Yeah.
I'm going to search up Rule 34 of like the hottest alien waifu, you know, in some random space anime. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So you think that there's a possibility that they could be something other than a humanoid form?
Oh yeah, and I think humans are more not even just like physically attracted, but just they're more attracted to things that look more closer to them, but at the same time not them. So for example, in Pokemon, going back to Pokemon,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of Pokemon designs where I'm just like, oh, I think I like more of the humanoid designs better because they look cooler.
Mm.
So for example, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there's this Pokemon called Meowscarada.
Meowscarada.
Yeah, it's basically like a furry cat.
Okay.
Okay, looks humanoid.
Okay.
And that's the most popular character.
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I see it.
Meowscarada.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's like humans are more attracted to something that's more human-like.
Humanoid.
Yeah, but
I don't know, dude. Like, I've been having these conversations about like aliens with my other guests and stuff too, and just like hearing other conversations about aliens in general. And like, the one thing that I've always questioned was like, what happens if aliens don't have a humanoid form? Like, what other form factor would they come in? You know what I mean? Like, they don't even have to have a physical form to even interact with you if they're an alien. Because, like, if they had that technology where they could just send out their consciousness or, like, they just use their fucking telepathy to talk to you in their mind, like, what form could they take? They could be anything.
they really could. They really could take any form. But let's be honest with you. Any other form that's not humanoid, it's very hard to relate to them. So like look at like
Would you want to relate to the human, or not the humans, the aliens?
I mean look at conventional like pop media. You
Yeah.
get, you know, aliens,
Yeah.
those look grotesque, they
Yeah.
look scary. You see Martians, you know, like, you know, the aliens from the Simpsons, they're pretty intimidating. You see like the typical Martian with
You
the
think they're
green head.
intimidating?
Would you want to be friends with them? If
I
they
mean,
come
I
here-
would definitely want to fucking talk to them.
Yeah, you could talk to them.
Yeah, I would interact with them.
Would you want an alien to like abduct you and then like actually probe your anal butt or something?
Why does it have to be probing the anal butt? Like, is that the only way you get probed is through your fucking anal?
I
Your
mean,
anal passageway?
okay, let's be real here, Golf. You named your
Probing
podcast.
aliens
You,
because I'm probing other aliens'
okay, but
minds. I'm probing their
yeah,
minds.
they're gonna like dissect you and open up your brains,
Do
man.
they have to dissect me and open up the brain? Why can't they just stick something in my fucking ear or something?
Okay, that's one way to do it.
See, there's multiple possibilities of aliens probing shit.
Yeah, would you want something stuck up to your ear too?
No, hell no.
I don't think so.
I mean, but like when I go to a doctor, they do that shit anyway, so no. Right?
yeah, at least you got consent.
That's true.
Okay, but yeah, like I said, I think there probably are like aliens that don't have a humanoid form.
Mm-hmm.
But most definitely, if I see one, I'm definitely going to be a little bit scared, a little bit intimidated.
So you're gonna be intimidated, but you wouldn't run away.
Would I want to talk to them?
Yeah, would you want to interact with them? If you had the chance to interact with the alien, what would that interaction be like?
I'll let someone else do it. I'm going to be honest with you. It's
No,
like I said
no,
before,
it has to be you.
I have to let someone else do it because
No,
again,
no,
I
no.
just
What happens if there's no one else around you and
Dude,
you're
I
literally
ha-
the only person who's there with the alien? You have to interact with that alien.
listen.
What is that interaction gonna be like? You're gonna dip?
I'm gonna dip. Okay.
Oh my god.
Have you seen Independence Day when the aliens came and like all the little the people?
Actually,
that,
no, I haven't seen that movie.
there's like this scene where like, oh my god, there's this group that are having like a party on top of like a building.
Okay.
They're having a party to greet the aliens. They're like wearing alien dresses and stuff. It's like, yeah, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Guess what happens to them? They were the first one to get lasered to death.
Okay, but those are hostile aliens. Like,
Okay.
what happened? Dude, look, listen here, okay? If the alien that wanted to interact with you was not hostile towards you and was openly trying to communicate with you, how would that interaction go? What would you ask it a question? What would you do to it?
Okay. So one of those.
It's a hypothetical question.
Okay, so like ET phone home or some shit like that. Okay.
Yeah. If you came into interaction with the alien,
At first,
what is
I
your
would
first instinct? Like, what do you think
at
you
first
would do?
instincts, I would probably would try to reach out my hand like this.
Okay, yeah.
And see how it reacts.
Uh-huh.
And if I'm not hurt by it, I'm going to try to do a handshake.
Okay, for listeners, he literally held out his hand like he's about to give out some candy or some shit, or like he's asking to take a hand. That's the gesture that he put out.
I'm gonna try to do that, and
Uh-huh.
hopefully, in their culture, that's not an offensive thing. And
You
I don't
think
get,
aliens have cultures?
well, I mean, quite possibly, yeah. Unless if an alien is smart enough to travel to our planet,
Uh-huh.
then they must be, developed and sophisticated enough to have a society, right?
Right, but in one of my previous episodes, I mentioned that what happens if those societies aren't like built out? What if they're more like tribalistic in a way rather than societal?
So if they're tribalistic, why the heck would they travel to my freaking planet?
Maybe they wanted to fucking explore other options. Maybe their planet is dying and they needed to do
so they want to
something.
colonize us. Well, shit. Give me my freaking AK. Give me my gel blaster. I'm about to pop some.
You think
some aliens?
You think that'll work on aliens?
You
You think the current military weaponry we have now is gonna work on aliens?
I don't know, but god dang, we have to try. My God, you haven't seen the War of the Worlds? We have to try, man.
I mean, I think
It's either try or die.
You're right, but I think at this point everything is leaning towards nuclear warfare.
Listen, if we can nuke off their first wave, I'm pretty sure they'll back off.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
All right. And so last question for you, right? If you're already beamed up by the alien, right? You're on their fucking spaceship. You can't do anything about it. And they probe your mind. What would be that one core memory for you that would stick out to them? A core memory.
That one memory
Yes.
that they took out.
That one core memory that they probed your mind for because they're looking for an experience, right? They want to see what the human experience is like. What the human experience of Hanson was like. What is that one core memory that would stick out to them?
Let me see. They'll probably stick out to my relationship in college.
Yeah?
They'll probably like pull that out. It's like, it's kind of cringe.
So that whole interaction with
That
you
whole
trying
saga
to,
with yeah.
you
and
label
my-
it as a saga.
I definitely think it was a saga. I call it an arc, a character arc,
Yeah, yeah.
a character arc and a character assassination at the same time.
So character development.
More like character assassination. I felt like
It was character development.
it also was character development. You are right about that too. But I do feel like a lot of people hated me at that era.
So that whole like memory would stick out to the aliens the most.
Yeah. It was the most controversial time of my life. And but yeah. That's how I see it.
That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, well, Hanson, it was good. It was good talking to you.
It was good talking to you too.
Yeah, we definitely talked a lot, and I know we could have talked for more, but my brain is actually turning into mush.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry. It's not you, it's me. You'll hear that a lot. But yeah, thank you so much, Hanson. Is there any last words you want to say for our aspiring entrepreneurs who've heard your story, and you want to give any tips or advice?
I would personally say most definitely try to have fun with what you do. That's the most important part. Cuz right now I could be doing something for much easier and for much more money, but I'll have to sacrifice all this free time that I'm able to have and all the fun that I'm able to have. And I wouldn't want to do that. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. Well, have fun. Pursue what is fun for you. If it's not fun, it's work. Do you agree with that statement?
I 100% agree.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening / watching. You're listening to the Promising Aliens podcast. Until next time, peace. Greetings, Earthlings. If you did enjoy this episode, please do give us a like on whatever platform you were watching this / listening to this on, whether it be YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Twitter, SoundCloud, Pocket Cast. We're also on socials like Instagram, TikTok, again, YouTube. So, Twitter. Don't forget Twitter. Yeah. So, go give us a follow. Check us out.